to talk if you want to.
Hey.
Jesus.
Yo, how's it going?
Hey, pretty good. I'm just getting a little set up myself, but you know, you're more than welcome to talk if you want to.
Yeah, no worries. Okay. So, I thought we should make clear we had this talk organized before you had that massive stream yesterday.
Yeah.
This is not in response. This is not in response
I'm
to
probably.
your
Yeah, I'm probably gonna do a little bit of like a snark tour or whatever. But part of the reason why I'm doing that isn't because I'm trying to go around and be like, oh, I hate Destiny. Here's everything wrong with him. It's just because it's like, I don't know. Can we have a sane conversation about all the stuff going on?
Yeah, makes sense. Sorry, 2 seconds. I'm just figuring out my.
And sorry,
Yeah, there we go.
still getting set up, but
Why is this lagging? Hello? It's not even live. Stop lagging, please, God.
basically what I would do, you know, if I was running the conversation, not that I am, but if I was, I would play a quick game of Never Have I Ever, and then I would just talk about whatever you wanted to talk about.
Sure. Okay. And never have I. You mean like you say, never have I ever, like doxed someone?
Yeah, sure.
Like
That's a sarcastic because J-Stock said he didn't want to do that, which I thought was funny.
Right.
But I can be very quick about it. So have you?
Oh, so this is just going to be like, have you murdered a child? Have you posted a doc somebody? Have you blah, blah, blah? And then all of the people that are willing to talk to him are going to say no. And he's like, okay, whew, thank God. You guys are all A-okay in my book, 100% in the clear.
Have you ever talked poorly of Destiny in the past?
Yes, incredibly.
Okay. Have you done so in private and in public for extended periods of time?
Yes.
Okay. Have you doxed him personally yourself?
No.
Have you been in the room while other people were doxing his address, name, and telephone number, and then you laughed about it? No comment is also an option here.
No, I don't think so. No.
Okay. Have you doxed, swatted, or have you swatted Destiny?
No.
Okay. Have you doxed, swatted?
Oh, and then so by the end of this, it's like, okay, so all you do is talk shit, right? What's the problem?
Digitally harassed Nathan in any way?
No.
Have you swatted, doxed, harassed his extended family in any way?
Sorry, you just broke up a little bit.
Have you doxed, swatted, or harassed via digital means Destiny's extended family in any way?
No.
Have you taken homemade pornography that was leaked onto the internet from Destiny and sent it to his family members or Nathan?
No.
Okay, that's my game.
Okay, that's all of them.
Jesus Christ.
That's all the ones that I care about. So
Okay.
for instance, like if you've talked shit about him privately and publicly for extended periods of time, I think that's one of the charges that's been leveraged against you.
Yep.
It's probably, this is like a good bridge burn, I think. Like, if this is what we're working with. Jesus Christ.
And then the doxing, swatting, and harassment is guilt by stochastic rhetoric.
Yeah.
but
So
I
yeah,
think-
as far as I understand, there is actually it's like not even being claimed that I know the people doing it. It's basically like talking about him contributes to an environment where Kiwi farmers or dox or whatever it is will go and do it. That's as far as I understand. That basically is what it comes down to.
Yes.
Yeah. Which I feel like is an insane
I mean,
standard.
unless
personally,
Dan,
obviously.
unless Dan or Destiny just like rape us in the next month, and I ask you all those questions, and you're lying to me directly, and then we have screenshots of you engaging in those behaviors. That's the allegation that I've heard so far.
And so that's
Is
what
you,
and that's what you would
create the
need.
permission structure.
Yeah, so that's
you
what
create the permission structure to rape Destiny.
Sure.
Well, wait. That's a different thing. The permission structure than whether or not he's done it himself. No? Did I miss something there?
I know the people doing it. It's basically
Swatting and harassment is guilt by stochastic rhetoric.
Yeah.
but
So
I
yeah,
think-
as far as I understand, there is actually it's like not even being claimed that I know the people doing it. It's basically like talking about him contributes to an environment where Kiwi farmers or dox or whatever it is will go and do it. That's as far as I understand. That basically is what it comes down to.
Yes.
Yeah. Which I feel like is an insane
I mean,
standard.
unless
personally,
Dan,
obviously.
unless Dan or Destiny just like rape us in the next month, and I ask you all those questions, and you're lying to me directly, and then we have screenshots of you engaging in those behaviors. That's the allegation.
Would leaking the manifesto to Conor help, or is it too late? I'm actually not sure. I don't know if there's any level of evidence that Conor could see beyond like if you've ever seen The Wire, it's like it's like him. He has to see like, was Stringer Bell selling crack? Was Avon Barksdale selling crack? If they're not selling crack, if you don't show me a picture of them selling crack cocaine, like that's what. But I don't know. It's retarded. It's not worth seriously engaging with you.
That I've heard so far.
And so that's what
you
that's what you would
create the
need.
permission structure.
Yeah. So that's
you
what
create the permission structure to rape Destiny.
Sure. I mean, just to be clear, the permission structure. I feel like this is something you were getting into yesterday. They tried to spin it around on you and say that you describing the permission structure in itself creates a permission structure. Would you say that's true?
Yes, that's why descriptive and prescriptive has become a meme in the past
I'm coming.
24 to 48
Wait,
hours.
But you do think so? You think that when Destiny comes back to you with that chat message where he's saying, he says the thing that Doobie said about him, but like 2 more layers removed and about you. You think that chat message is accurate?
Correct, but I want to point something out about this. So Doobie is saying that regardless of whether or not he thinks it's good, he thinks this is descriptively true.
Yeah.
The same way that I would press Destiny, that he might not think that people he might genuinely think that people harassing me, harassing my harassing my family, going after my job, he might genuinely think that that's bad. But just by describing the situation sarcastically or whatever, he increases the chance in which it would happen. The way that I would point out, the way that him doxing Esports Batman or doxing you or doxing JStock or doxing Doobie, that obviously increases the chances that you guys will be harmed, regardless of whether or not that harm actually occurs.
Sure. But you think just making the descriptive claim is the creation of the permission structure? Because the way I would look at it is Destiny doing the action, Destiny doing the action of doxing and then justifying it. That is the creation of the permission structure, not necessarily just a description of the situation.
History did begin on Doxtober 7th.
For me, I'd like to take it one step further. The creation of the permission structure has nothing to do with whether or not the permission structure itself is true.
Right. Okay.
Right? Yeah. So for instance, like let's say, sorry, can I give you an extreme example just so people can know what I'm talking about? Let's say that I say Hitler's a bad...
It's the actual answer here too, and not to, I don't know, be weird about anything too, is that like Conor is like really, really, really all in on this description versus prescription thing, but like we're not really talking about that. Like if I were to come in and say it's morally justifiable to punch somebody in the face if they've called you a slur, and somebody's like, okay, so you're saying that like you should do that or whatever. And I'm like, no, I'm just describing like this moral structure. Like, that doesn't really make sense, right? Like that's not like a meaningful to try to say like there's some descriptive prescriptive decision. It's not like as applied to this social like broader language meta conversation social thing or whatever dynamic. This whole like social or this whole like prescriptive descriptive thing just doesn't really map on here. But that's like beyond even Conor here for it. Yeah.
Bad guy because he killed the Jews. And he killed 6 million Jews. And I'm creating the permission structure through which Hitler can be deemed a bad guy and ultimately killed. Just because I'm describing reality and I'm creating the permission structure actually has no bearing on the underlying truth claims.
Got you. Okay. Anyway, all right, let's...
The permission structure through which Hitler can be deemed a bad guy and ultimately killed. Just because I'm describing reality and I'm creating the permission structure actually has no bearing on the underlying truth claims.
Got you. Okay. Anyway, all right, let's get back sort of like to what I think I wanted to speak about before that shit happened yesterday.
The description versus prescription is retarded. This is not how normal humans think and act. He's a grown-ass man and knows this. Yeah, 100%. It's not how normal people think or act, and nobody would apply this like kind of language thing. It's like, I wonder who gave him this idea. I wonder if he thought of it on his own or if Doobie or somebody fed it to him, because it's a really good like pseudo-intellectual way of avoiding all responsibility. Like imagine me running around for 10 hours a day in every Discord server saying like, if women wear dresses and act like sluts, they're more likely to get raped. And I just say that over and over again. And like at some point, somebody's like, are you saying that like, should women? And I'm like, whoa. Description. I'm a discreet BB-bo. Okay. I'm not a prescrete BB-bo. Okay. I'm just describing some stuff here. I'm not saying it should happen. In fact, I'm sorry. Let me go one step further. I don't even think it's right that it should happen. But if they wear those things and act like that, it will happen. But I'm not saying it should. But like, they're creating the structures by which they are not allowed to complain about these things. I'm not saying it should happen, though. In fact, I want a world where it doesn't happen. But as long as they act that way and do those things, it will happen. This is like a 5 IQ way of engaging with language.
Sure. So, I mean, first of all, how do you feel since the interview last week? How do you feel about the reception to it? I saw Tallybots was saying, Queeman thinks you're pathetic. Queeman's using you as like a lolcow for his audience. They'll hate you, Conor, and all this shit. But I saw a positive reception generally to the interview, so I was a bit like,
even if you were, even if the
well, yeah, I don't think you give a fuck. I think you're right? Just like you accept like that's kind of the game. But I mean, that's like not only it was just like a totally insane read based on what actually ended up happening. That there certainly were people that wanted it to be a lolcow performance that were in my chat, desperate for a lolcow performance the entire time. But I think most people came away with a positive view.
Well, number one, that's the internet. And sometimes you're going to get to make fun of other people when they're having bad days, and sometimes people are going to be able to make fun of you. We all get a turn in the chair. And you can play defense to minimize your time in the chair, but honestly, sometimes you end up cucking yourself to the point that you end up in the chair more because you're playing such aggressive defense to not be in the chair.
Sometimes best to take your licks.
In my opinion, yeah. And the truth is the truth.
Yep.
So also, I'll commend everybody who made a thumbnail about my divorce. I look handsome in every single one. So thank you.
I heard you saying that on stream. Yeah.
You could have hired that fucking sweaty thumbnail creator who was quote unquote transphobic to Keffels.
Oh yeah,
but nobody did that.
Whatever the fuck called, yeah. Okay, so the reason why I messaged you to talk was because you said on stream it was about you were watching the Eat Israel clip, and you said there's a strawman version of this, a steelman version of this. I'd be interested to talk to Queeman about it. And so I was like, my ears pricked up, and I was like, okay, we'll have another talk then. That sounds great. So do you want to just sort of lay out sort of what your thoughts were there, and we can go into it?
Yeah. So the straw man version of it is you're just a Nazi or whatever. Like I watched your coverages of your coverage of Hutch's coverage, which was funny, which was like, oh, Queeman's just a Groiper Nazi fan of Adolf Hitler.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, and and then I got reminded of the Dr. Kanye West bit. That was pretty funny. But the Steelman version of it is more interesting to me because you have claimed to be Jewish in the past.
Yep, ethnically, not religiously. I should be very clear. Not raised in any way religious.
Can I ask, was your mom ethnically? Was she raised in the synagogue or something, or what?
I don't want to go into too much detail because I don't know. It's like what percentage of people are Jews in Britain. Like, do I want to say too much about? If I start narrowing things down at all, I get a bit pranky about that, especially with extended family. So I don't want to go into that too much. But I'll just say I'm firmly atheist. I've always been firmly atheist. Never raised with any religious influence whatsoever, basically.
Okay, well, hold on. So, actually, that's kind of funny too. So
how does he still consider you a friend after doing all this? Well, it's easy when you're the one doing the thing, right? It's like, imagine you have a family member who died, or imagine you've got a friend and they lost like 7 family members to drunk driving, but you just love drunk driving. You swear to God, you're the best drunk driver in the world. And your friend's like, bro, I don't know if I can chill with you if you keep doing this. And you're like, well, I'm not burning the bridge. I mean, it's up to you, dude. I think you're cool. I'm chill. That's up to you, bud. So it's like, yeah.
Oh, were you raised in a church or a synagogue?
No. When I say my parents raised me, I think my mom was always sort of more agnostic. My dad was firmly atheist. That's the way I was raised, was firmly atheist.
And you didn't attend any church or go to any Sunday school or anything
like
that?
Church, I went to like sort of maybe like church-related events that were basically just places to send kids for like an afternoon or whatever the fuck, not actual worship shit in any way, literally just like fuck off for an afternoon sort of thing. Basically, that's my extent of engagement with religion and shit that I was, that was in school as well.
Okay. Then so you don't have any kind of, based off of that upbringing, what kind of affinity or non-affinity do you have for the state of Israel?
I would say I had...
Just as a heads up, when you're talking about like Jewish shit, generally it's not really about the religion. That's not, for a long time, maybe like 1,000 or 2,000 years ago, but that's not really what we're talking about ever. I don't know how people still have like this in-depth of a conversation. It's like, oh, like, me and my family were Jewish. And it's like, oh, really? Who's your favorite synagogue, temple, preacher guy? Like, how often do you make... I don't even know what the fuck Jewish, but it's generally not like the religious thing, but okay.
Going into... Okay, this is probably the best way to put it.
Is there anything else in here worth listening to? If it's just a conversation on this shit, I don't think I give a fuck.
Obviously, I've had throughout my life explained to me like, X, thing happened, and that's where we all came over, and there was the war, and all this stuff. That was all said to me by extended family growing up. And obviously, I am visibly Jewish, I would say. So I don't know what it's like in America, but this is what I always said. This is why I claim the Jew label, even if I wasn't raised religiously. Is, I was always treated Jewish. I don't know what it's like in America, but there were like endless Holocaust jokes, gas chamber jokes, K-slur, shit like this. Just like not even like always super hostile, but just like that's, how British schools kind of are. People rip on, there's a black kid that'll make jokes about being black. Pakistani kid obviously get ripped for being Pakistani. So I claim the Jew label 100% because, I get treated Jewish. That's just the way I look at it.
Well, was that like a badge of pride almost that fucking people would banter with you for being Jewish and you would just lean into it?
It's not just even a...
Okay, I'm good. I don't care that much. All right, what is this? Somebody said this got posted. 3-hour talk with Eric Weinstein.
Check it out.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan podcast by night, all day.
Seen the clips of Chud diss himself from Justical and criticizing him from this morning stream? Nope, but link it.
I was like, there's only one way to do this. I have to just not drink for a while. And so I took like 8 months off, and then I had like a margarita at dinner once. So I was like, oh, I missed this. And then I had a glass of wine here or there.
I was wondering how that was going to hold up.
Yeah.
But you're not. I know that you're not captured by it.
No.
Neither am I. But
like,
our religious observance requires it.
This guy's an alcoholic, 1,000,000%. What the fuck? Sorry, just kidding. But like, dude, I hate everything right now. Addiction That's a disease for fucking losers. And you obviously have yours under control. So you're not even, it's not even like a real thing, right? We're way too cool for weak mind shit like that. Addicted? Really? Me?
Should buy it.
No.
Neither am I, but
It
like,
was
our
never-
religious observance requires it.
You require abstinence or drinking?
We drink.
What?
Wait, is Weinstein, that's a Jew name, right? What do Jews drink for? I know Catholics, we have to drink for our communion stuff. What do the, what do these guys have to drink for? Like, do they have to drink? Like, we have to drink.
When do you have to drink?
Shabbat any Friday.
Every fucking weekend? Okay. Whatever he's saying, I know it's fucking wrong. So, okay, whatever.
How much do you drink on Shabbat?
I probably have 2.5 glasses of wine.
Was there
2.5 glasses? What does that mean?
like a number that you're supposed to hit?
No,
Otherwise,
there's a
you're a
communal
bad
cup
boy.
at the what? Well, that's Purim.
What is?
We should get into Purim.
We're getting into it.
All right.
Do we need glasses? You want to have a drink?
Usually, you and I tend to go.
These guys both definitely don't have issues, right? With
A
drinking?
while, so we usually do that at the end.
Well, let's get some ice and some glass. Are we rolling already?
I've been rolling, yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Let's get
shit.
some. Tell Jeff to get us some ice and some
Okay,
glasses.
I didn't know we were.
And a bottle
I
of
hope I didn't say anything wrong.
Buffalo Trace.
Do you want to wait till I get back to start? Because we either haven't started or we started.
We started. Fuck it. We started. Let's just roll. We'll get Jeff to do it. What's that?
But I don't have headphones.
Are we rolling still?
Are we doing
Okay.
headphone shit?
We
What are
can.
doing?
Headphones, no headphones. I
tell
don't
me.
give a fuck.
I don't give
We mix it up.
Okay.
You know? What do you do? Are you more comfortable? You got a nice head of hair.
What?
See, for me, it doesn't matter. I feel bad when people like work on their hair real good, like especially ladies, and they get it all nice, and then they have to fucking smush it with this thing.
Okay, if you ever have that kind of consideration for me, I'm going to be very disappointed. I thought we were closer.
Some people pretty dark grew out, like my side.
You did.
What, shaved it?
Yeah, shaved it when everyone knew it wasn't great, and then it's just normal. Because like, it's very clear if I shave it now.
I think you can avoid gray hair with proper supplementation. At least that is the thought today.
Okay.
That with enough zinc and copper. And
Zinc and copper. Are we making alloy and RuneScape? Wait, can you avoid your hair graying? I know there's the Finasta, Monasta, all the Monoxa, whatever bullshit for your hair falling out. Is there stuff to make your hair not gray anymore?
that somehow or another that's involved in the diet. I don't know. I'm talking out of my ass here. I don't know that much about what causes your hair to go gray.
This is Austin Tap.
Other than
What was, I thought he said get the wine out initially, but okay. Are we okay here? Hello? What?
this is Buffalo Trace, older than America.
Really?
Yeah, this is a distillery from 1773, I believe they started.
Wow.
Them apples, huh?
It's like that Chinese sounding beer, Yunling or something. Cheers, my friend.
Buffalo Trace is like why is their beard really old? Beer really old? They have an old beer.
Yunling.
Is it old as fuck?
Jamie knows everything.
He knows a lot.
You know, people.
1829.
You see,
Oh.
people say I have this AI. I'm using Claude. I'm using ChatGPT.
I use Jamie.
Jamie, right?
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh, he's way
We all-
better
we all
than
do.
AI. He's way better than AI because he's kind of psychic. You're a little psychic,
Well,
right?
I-
A little bit.
Well, I mean, I've listened to you talk a lot.
My theory is that he also looks ahead. He knows sort of where you're likely to head, so he's got it
Oh,
ready.
100%.
Yeah.
He knows how my goofy fucking brain works.
Yeah.
What energy thing leaking in from another dimension? Is that? Look at that face. Look at that. You
Go on.
He gave a little
Go
side
on.
eye. Well, let's see what he says. James, see if you can find that, please. I think he said
you
it
ever
was
take
gravity.
What is wrong with this? They're going to talk for a long time. What else are you supposed to do but drink? I can't tell if this is a serious thing or not. But I feel like anytime a person can tell me how long they've not drank for, I would assume that we probably just shouldn't drink. If somebody's like, oh yeah, I haven't had a drink in 8 months. I'm like, cool. Well, let's get some sodas or something. When you start to keep track of your non-drinking periods, and then you go from that to, let's have some shots for this podcast tonight. I'm like, okay, bro.
Hands from
Leaking.
different colonies and put them together as a kid just to see what happens.
Did I? No, I never did that.
I did that.
Why? Just watch him fight?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you fucking psycho.
Yeah, a little bit.
No, I never did any of that.
You were saying about me, Joe.
Yeah, that I didn't even read it. I just saw it and went, oh Jesus, I got to talk to Eric about this. I mean,
I had to stop drinking when I started Adderall. Why? You just have to drink more, like twice as much, and then you're good. And then sometimes you drink too much, it kind of fucks your Adderall up, so you just have to 2x your Adderall, and you just kind of like, I call it the stepladder process.
it's just dark matter isn't matter at all. It's gravity leaking in from a parallel dimension. And this guy won't do mushrooms. Isn't that wild? What do you think about that?
You remember when I was here and I said, "Get Michio Kaku in here with me."
Yeah. What is it? What is it about? Well, clearly he's a brilliant guy.
He is and was a brilliant guy. He's decided to do something else, and to be entirely honest,
I'm so glad I studied music. I get triggered enough listening to people talk politics. Quantum mechanics is like easily the most trespassed zone of fucking anything. As soon as people start talking about shit, entangled particles transfer information faster than light, gravity leaking in from another dimension. The many worlds hypothesis means that every time I decide not to jerk off, I'm spawning another dimension where I do masturbate. Did you know that you have to actually blink your eyes and look at an electron to change how it acts because it needs an observer? And by observer, I mean human being. It's like every fucking stupid fucking trope thing is like, oh my God. But I don't know fuck all about any of it, so I don't give a fuck.
I don't love going after other named people. In general, my shtick is that I go hard after institutions. I'm a huge institutional supporter and their worst nightmare in the current world.
It's so brave. Oh my God.
Individuals I don't like beefing with. I watch all of the energy, the beauty of life lost to beefing with people. Michio Kaku is doing a tremendous amount of damage to theoretical physics.
How so?
Theoretical physics is, in my estimation, the most beautiful, most powerful, most economically potent thing you can do with your life. And we are the best. The United States is, in my opinion, the greatest nation in the history of the earth for theoretical physics. Because we are cowboys, we are irreverent, we are the people who invented the atomic and hydrogen bombs, the semiconductor. This is what we do. And we've lost the ability to do it at a level that I cannot believe happened during my lifetime. So from 1984 to the present, those 42 years have been the greatest intellectual implosion, I think, that I know of, where people just got dumber.
And what do you think is the cause? I'm going to distract
theory.
this humidifier.
Quantum gravity.
Like imagine, I don't even know, because I don't know anything in music that's like as complicated as how much you would have to learn to understand like quantum mechanics shit. I don't know, like arguing like just intonation versus even tempered music and how it's destroying. I don't know, like just imagine like a person who's literally like not even like the math classes to begin to take the math classes to understand what you're talking about. But it's like, what's the big problem with physics? Well, I'm going to tell you about it's just like, Jesus Christ.
Gravity. Think that I know of, where people just got dumber.
And what do you think is the cause? I'm going to distract
theory.
this humidifier.
Quantum gravity.
Quantum gravity did?
Yep. Mm-hmm. In 1984, there was a result, and it's called the Green-Schwarz anomaly cancellation. And the guy that I've talked to you about before in UFO context, the guy who is Lewis Whitten's son, Lewis Whitten, happy birthday, turned 105, was the anti-gravity guy from the 50s. His son, Edward Whitten, decided that the 1984 Green-Schwarz anomaly cancellation meant that we should all the smartest people should pile into one narrow subspecialty, and that was the future. And because it was so much...
Oh, no. Oh, it hurts. I know, I understand. There's way more harmony here than I thought. Do you know who this talking point comes from or is repeated a lot by? Yeah, you got it. That Sabine person who has this theory that, like, did you know that in 1980, whatever the fuck, we had all these brilliant physicists, and then all of them decided to waste away their entire fucking lives obsessing over string theory, and then physics stopped?
Smarter than all of us. People listened, and I didn't. And Michio Kaku is part of his wave. Almost all of the people that you've traditionally had on in physics have some connection to this. So you've had on, I don't know, probably Sean Carroll, Neil deGrasse Tyson, Brian Greene. Nobody wanted to say what was happening, which is that we were being unraveled and destroyed. Our ability to be the world's greatest theoretical physicist was being eroded year by year for 42 years.
And specifically, the pursuit of string theory?
It's not string theory itself that's the problem. String theory is harmless. It's just a bunch of equations, a bunch of ideas, and it's beautiful mathematics in many places. So that's not an issue. The issue is the exclusion of everything else.
I think Sabine actually got it from Eric. That might be. I just know that both of them, I guess now, are do this. Yeah.
And this goes into the name Togit, or the only game in town, T-O-G-I-T. Mm-hmm. And it's this idea that only we, the enlightened, can do theoretical physics, and the rest of you are just doing finger exercises, and you're too stupid to know it.
So specifically, like, what's isolationist about string?
Oh my God, I just fucking, that thumbnail.
This is going to be awkward. Okay.
Why do they all do this? They can't, some of these people start off okay, and they just can't. It's the funnel, bro. They're captured by the funnel. Do you know how hard it is to stay out of the funnel? It's real hard, guys. The funnel is everything. There is only the funnel. Okay? The funnel is not a ladder. It is a starting and stopping point for 99% of online careers. This thumbnail. Physicists are afraid of Eric Weinstein, and they should be. With Sean Carroll listed here. If I recall, she's been considered somewhat of a quack for years now. Yeah, but it feels like what happens is like somebody has like a valid criticism, I guess, of the system. And then some people in the system kind of are like, well, you know, I disagree or whatever. But there's this whole fucking crowd of people on the outside who are like, yeah, fucking yeah, somebody who's finally willing to say what he said. And the person for like the first time in their lives is getting like all this like support and love and outreach from this other community, and then they just slowly start to cater more and more and more and more. They might get more institutional pushback as a result of that, and then they just become fucking audience captured. They cross the event horizon. They would have to travel at speeds faster than light to escape the bottomless fucking pit of audience slop capture, and they cannot do it. It is impossible to cross it. They can't do it. It's impossible. They're gone forever. Maybe they'll be spit back out in a trillion years as, what is it, Hawking radiation? I don't know. As Tars saving his daughter. Not the guy, but Tars.
Like, what is it about this one particular theory that all this thought has been pushed into that?
Take some comfort in that every academic just laughs and ignores these people. I know it has effects, but it's mostly the general populace. That's great, but like RFK Jr. is like the head of our HHS, so I mean, who's laughing, bro? What do you want me to say?
String theory. Like, what is it about this one particular theory that all this thought has been pushed into that?
The claim is that there's this thing called UV complete physics. And there's no way that we can have a discussion about that directly. If I could ask Jamie, could I impose upon you to call up on YouTube Wheel of Fortune and then use I've got a good feeling about this? I can explain it to you.
Wheel of Fortune, I've got a good feeling about this?
I've got a good feeling about this.
Okay. Is that an episode of Wheel of Fortune?
It'll be over brief.
Sabine is still kind of wandering back and forth from being a contrarian slash anti-institution for no reason, but Brett is a retard. Brett is crazy, bro. This guy believes he has solved the universe of everything, and he knows it because he remembered some facts about a lost research paper, and then he published a new paper that is his theory of everything, but he won't publish it in a real journal, but he will publish it online. And then he will, or not Brett, Eric. Did I say Brett? I don't remember. But then he will, two people went over it, but he didn't like the fact that one of them was anonymous, so he didn't respond to them. It's just like, I don't know how to, it's crazy. And I think some of this was even written by AI. I think it says it at the author is not a physicist and is no longer an active academician, I don't know, but is an entertainer and host of the Portal podcast. This work of entertainment is a draft of work in progress, which is the property of the author and thus may not be built upon, renamed, or profited from without express permission of the author. Why the fuck would you even make a science anything like that? What? Go to page 41. You know what would be a real adventure is going over the physics to understand this paper so that we can understand what's the stupid giant formula called? There's a thing that encompasses like the entire standard model of physics, and it's just to calculate like momentum changes or something. What is it called? Is it like a Lagrangian? No. There's a name for this. Is it Lagrangian? It just like encompasses everything we know about the standard model. And I think it just explains movement or something, right? So the standard model Lagrangian. We should learn enough physics online until we can understand all of it. That's what we should do. And then we could go through and we could debunk his paper. We're not doing that ever. There is most likely a Byzantine taxonomy of such objects along the lines of what Reese Harvey detailed for the Clifford algebras in his book on spinors and calibrations. The author is no longer in a position to go chasing after the complete picture and simply detail some of the available tools for customizing such operators. Wow, king. I don't know. Anytime somebody tells you they have like a theory of everything, there's always like, not good. I'm at page 42. What did I say? What did we go to? Okay.
Briefly. It's very, very quick. It's about a minute and a half or something. And the key point is it's a tight analogy for the problem faced in physics that anyone can understand. So people think I try to make things complicated. I really try to make them understandable. But what I do is I talk about things. I don't know that you've ever had anyone talk about UV completeness on the Joe Rogan
I don't
Experience.
believe so.
Yeah.
Is this it? Okay, put your headphones on.
Yeah.
Well, you're not going to be able to hear it unless you have headphones on.
I know it like the back of my hand.
Ha. Wheel of Fortune.
We need a phrase this time. That's the category for this puzzle, and it is a prize puzzle.
Our standard Lagrangian model. Just if you just know this and you can explain every part of it, you understand the standard model of physics, okay? You can communicate with aliens.
Go ahead, Rick. Gladly. And what do we get here? 500. R. Boy, you'd think there'd be an R in there somewhere, would you?
Oh, Rick.
So you called it Caitlin.
Idiot.
L.
1 L.
It's really solve.
What's that?
Can I solve?
Okay.
It is a prize puzzle.
Yeah,
I've got a good feeling about this.
that's right.
That's insane.
That's him. He's like, that's going to be me one day in a conference of physicists where they realize that I've done this.
He's a wizard.
That lady.
You've never debunked Mr. Girl's black hole theory? Stop slandering him. Mr. Girl is busy making arguments for why he should be able to
Student confronts
have full access to the curriculum for children in schools in order for people in a community to be able to go over it. Okay?
You're hot. You know that?
Fuck! I'm not gonna be able to find this. This guy right here, by the way, is the one that started the theory that I am trying to hunt down mentally ill girls, use my clout and money to have sex with them, bring them onto my stream, and then engage in a sadomasochistic sexual dance with them where I make them fight other women or turn my community on them to destroy them, to remove them from my life while getting intense sexual pleasure out of it the entire time. That theory that people like Conor believe in started with him, by the way. Anyway.
Everyone, my name is Max Carson. I'm a local artist and writer. I do not have any kids in the school district, but I am a district resident. About a month ago, I decided to write an essay critiquing the health curriculum. There's a law, ORS 336465, that says the school district shall give parents, guardians, and district residents an opportunity to examine the instructional materials to be used in any class.
Why does Conor talk about your sex life so much? For Conor, it might be that there's a conservative thing. The reality, without digging too far into it, is that like sex is, for whatever you want to say, sex is still like kind of an icky thing that nobody really wants to talk about, and it's kind of weird or whatever. So it's very easy to like throw it at somebody as like a personal attack, especially depending on the community you're in. Like if it came out that like Dream had sex with a girl, that would be like a scandal, just because it's like oh my god, like it would just be a thing, even without like any weird accusations. It's just like an easy thing to attack people on. So I mean, what are you gonna do?
Course, assembly, or school-sponsored activity. Now,
what happened to his hair? Well, I'm guessing he shaved it. No?
Examine is broad, of course. This could mean you just look at the book. Could mean you flip through the book. You actually get to read the book. Or you get to take detailed notes and write an analysis of the book, which, of course, the last one is the one I would like to do, if it's possible. I was permitted 2 2-hour sessions with the Great Body Shop and Live Well, which laid out, you're talking about like a stack of pages.
Does Max have schizophrenia? I feel like I overuse schizophrenia, but I do think he has some kind of psychotic disorder. Yeah. Or at least in my limited experience of dealing with people who feel like they've solved everything, like solved the universe and everything, are usually on this, like some kind of paranoia or delusion. I don't know if it'd be paranoia or some kind of delusion or grandeur or whatever. Like this guy, there's an open source database where you can publish your theories or whatever. Is it APS? Fuck, I don't remember what it is. But he has like, he's got like 10 or 20 papers that he uses with some AI assistants. I don't know how much. No, it's not this. Fuck, I don't remember the website. But I think he has a theory about how we live. Like, he thinks that the entire universe is actually just like a part of a black hole or something, like a 2-dimensional, 3-dimensional projection. Which there's some theory called the holographic universe theory. I think that kind of. But yeah, I don't think he's. Well, oh, did I spell his last name wrong? It's with a K, not a C. Oh yeah. His preprints. Gravitational time dilation reduces to spatial scaling. And then he's got like papers that he's published, or preprints, I guess you would say. The author used AI language models to help draft derivations, clarify argument structure, and Polish wording. Why the fuck would you want Polish wording? What? But yeah, he's got like these things that he has. I think something is probably not right, but what do you want me to say? What do you want me to say? Anyway.
Is what I want to do with my life. That is what great physics looks like. It's totally irresponsible. And, Pat Sajak is like trying to ask her, like, how'd you do that? And she says, well, I had a good feeling about this. And the funny part about it is you can figure it out. If you go back, James.
Also, Eric Weinstein here, this is how all engineers view all physicists, and it's why all engineers hate all physicists. I'm just kidding.
We can show the board right there. Yeah. So clearly that apostrophe is a huge clue, right? So the idea is that if you read that property, is it I'll? Is it I've? Right? And then there's no R. So think about all of those blank squares as orders of magnitude that you are away from the energies that would allow you to do experiments that would explain physics. And think about the apostrophe, the L in that pattern, as well as the fact that there's no R, as the standard model of physics. So right now, what you have is a debate about whether or not we should buy more and more letters with higher and higher energy. Or, like, should we build bigger accelerators and spend more treasure trying to collide particles? Or should we just Caitlin our way out of this? So Caitlin Burke is my model of what I think we're supposed to be doing. And
so an exceptional mind with an ability to see or propose things that other people aren't seeing.
I guarantee you that if we studied this, if we spent a month with the world's smartest people on this puzzle, we'd learn that there are certain things that were present, that, the frequency of the fact that there's a single letter there that almost certainly is I or A. She took a tiny number of clues.
Wow.
But here's the really important thing.
Okay.
Jamie, can we show the filled in puzzle? So...
What was that noise? Did anybody hear that in the background?
The filled in puzzle?
I'm sorry. I don't even know if you can hear it.
So you'll notice that the word this could be changed to that because the only letter that's been excluded is an R. So that is what the issue of unique UV completion is. In other words, a unique UV completion would say there's only one phrase that fits there. She guessed. She couldn't have known it isn't I've got a good feeling about that or I've got a nice feeling about this or that. So it's actually not, or I'll get a good feeling about this, but all of those were much less probable because they're just not as natural.
Okay.
So this is a combination of science, guesswork, and raw courage. Like the most marvelous thing about that exchange is she says, can I solve? And there's like, he's not even sure he's hearing her properly.
Epic.
And then finally he says, okay, that's gatekeeping. Can I put this article on the archive? Can I give a seminar in your department? I want to solve the puzzle. And a lot of what we're arguing about is that the string theorists are the only ones who have the right to try to solve the puzzle at the moment. So imagine that somehow there's a rule that only Rick, poor Rick, who guesses that there's an R, imagine that he's the only one allowed to solve the puzzle. And when she asks, may I solve the puzzle? No, you can't. That's pseudoscience. You're a charlatan. That is crank physics. So that's what the problem that we're facing is that we've got one group that got control of the gatekeeping, who is very good at mathematics, extremely bad at physics. And they've redefined what physics is and what good science is, where they're the only ones who are guessing the puzzle. They can't guess the puzzle. And everyone else...
I'm too retarded to understand. So he is making a... I can't watch Conor talk to Queen right now. Okay, some people are pointing me. We might go back to that if he's talking more about me. But Eric Weinstein believes that he has solved all of physics based on some notes that he lost on a computer 30 years ago. I'm not exaggerating about that. I'm not joking about that. I might not be perfectly saying, but it's more or less this. That theory, that PDF that I read is like 30 years or more old. He genuinely believes that he's solved all of physics, despite the fact that he doesn't answer any unsolved questions with any novel theories, despite the fact that he doesn't present anything novel for anybody else to test or build off of. Like nothing is, there's no meat to anything that he's done. But he believes that he solved it But he believes that the only reason why people haven't taken geometric unity as seriously as they should be, which is what he calls his theory, is because all of physics is mega cucked by string theory. And the big string theory has cock-blocked him from being taken seriously because big string theory is the only thing that is allowed to answer the questions of, fundamental theoretical physics or whatever. And that's his thing, his shtick. Sorry, fuck, I gotta find this. The author notes many academicians find this unprofessional and therefore irritating. This is quite literally unprofessional, as the author is not employed within the profession, has not worked professionally on such material since the fall of 19... Oh, wait, hold on, let me see. Oh, notes in the present draft document. There is something about the nature of latex that is likely to confuse the professional reader. I think latex is like a notation you can use for math things, basically. It is as if a typeset document constitutes agreement to participate in some academic social contract. No such consent is intended by this. The author functions totally... It's pronounced latex? I don't give a fuck. Latex? Latex? Okay. The author functions totally divorced from the professional research context, which is oddly automatically inferred from typeset mathematics by nearly every capable reader, perhaps due to the rarity of such research programs. Without wishing to dwell on the unduly, there is no way around the fact that the author has been working in near total isolation from the community for over 25 years. That's a little weird. Does not know the current state of the literature. Okay, also weird. And has few, if any, colleagues to regularly consult. He solved it all on his own. As such, this document is an attempt to begin recovering a rather more complete theory, which at this point only partially remembered and stitched together from old computer files, notebooks, recordings, and the like, dating back as far as 1983 to 1984, when the author began the present line of investigation. The author here is Eric Weinstein. This is what he's talking about. This is the first time the author has attempted to assemble the major components of the story and has discovered in the process how much variation there has been across matters of notation, convention, and methodology. Every effort has been made to standardize notation, but what you are reading is stitched together from entirely heterogeneous sources, and inaccuracies and discrepancies are regularly encountered, as well as missing components when old work is located. The author notes many academicians find this unprofessional and therefore irritating. This is quite literally unprofessional, as the author is not employed within the profession, as not worked professionally as such. Well, okay, but anyway, that's your... That's his theory of everything.
Is like, here's a crazy story from yesterday. I wasn't allowed to say that I gave a talk in the physics department, even though any normal person would say that that happened.
Genuine question, how do these people go around themselves believing that every facet of their existence is being humiliated and suppressed by a secret shadowy cabal? Wouldn't this just be exhausting to live like this? You consider it exhausting, but for some of these people, it's empowering, right? Because you solved everything. Nobody around you has realized it. So there's two options there. Either you're wrong, which, depending upon how much of your life you've dedicated to a thing, is catastrophic. That is the most self-destructive thing that could ever be, is admitting you're wrong about something you've staked so much of your life on. Or there's some secret shadowy cabal that's trying to keep you down. And with as complicated as society is these days, you can find evidence of whatever the fuck you want anywhere if you want to be irrational about how you find it.
I wasn't allowed to say that I gave a talk in the physics department, even though any normal person would say that that happened. And I wasn't allowed to do that when I visited a physics institution in Canada. I wasn't allowed to say that I was visiting for a week. Nor was I allowed to say that I gave a seminar that lasted 9 hours.
Well, you just did.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Are you a lawbreaker?
I'm breaking the rules now because I've had it. I agreed to not do this. And with these missing scientists, I've changed my mind. I'm not going to deal with these people anymore. And whatever is going on with science and the suppression of different ideas is terrifying. Right now we have a situation. I gave a talk at the University of Chicago. There's no record of it.
Who's asking you to do these talks, and who's asking you to not give a record? You don't have to name names.
Yeah, particular people. In general, the funny part is that the people who ask me to give talks in the physics departments are the most courageous person in each department. So the problem is that the person that you end up feeling resentful towards, how dare you tell me that I can't give this talk in this department officially, is the person who's arranging for your stay and is arranging for the room, and they are under the most pressure from the institution.
So the institution is forcing them to say, you're allowed to give the talk, but you're not allowed to talk about it on social media. You're not allowed to advertise that you're doing it. You're not allowed to say that you're doing it.
So in this case, in the case of UTex's physics department, I was allowed to say I'm speaking in the Karch group seminar. It's like a condom to make sure that the physics department doesn't get pregnant.
Well, isn't that really bizarre? Because University of Austin, Texas was supposed to be a university that fixed all the bullshit that was wrong with other universities.
Oh, it's much more insane than that. This was the...
Is he referring to something there? I don't even know what that means, but maybe he is. I don't know.
The home of Steven Weinberg, who moved from Harvard to Texas because the oil money was used to buy brains. So basically, Texas raided Harvard for people like John Tate in the math department, Steven Weinberg, who was probably the greatest living...
It's the Barry Weiss Uni? Really?
Theorist. And that was the continuation of the Bryce DeWitt group from North Carolina, Chapel Hill, that was set up to do anti-gravity by Agnew Bainson. So you're right next to an amazing physics department with a crazy history. That in fact touched anti-gravity. This is one of the tiny number of places that has a real legacy in that department. And I was speaking there on gravity, on dark energy. And look, I've been lying my whole life about my relationship with the physics world because of this pressure. They can't listen to me if I say I'm a physicist, so I say I'm an entertainer. Yeah. But people say, well, why would you do that? Why would you say that you're an entertainer when you obviously are conversant in all this stuff? And the answer is, I don't want to die. I don't want to lose my ability to enter a physics department. So I take on this completely wrong persona. And, I have the emails. You're not giving a talk. You're having conversations in room 5308.
It literally says you're not giving a talk?
I could read what it is that they write to me. So
what is the benefit of this formal declaration or this formal...
There are so many assassins out there, bro. We've got physics assassins now. Big Physics is trying to assassinate people. Big String Theory has hired assassins.
Designation of the way you're talking.
So when I was at a physics institute in Canada, I was told, we're worried that you're going to use it to legitimize yourself. It's like, I'm going to do that. Of course I'm going to. I have a PhD from Harvard, you stupid... I mean, like...
In math, not in physics.
You guys imagine I'm a podcast guest?
This episode is brought to you by Squarespace. Once you've got a great name for your business, you need... They're acting from the assumption that you're going to use it to legitimize yourself and your ideas is a really crazy way to phrase it. Because they're acting from the assumption that you're not legitimate.
So that's there. You remember when, like, I think Reagan thought, I forget who it was. Reagan thought there were recallable missiles.
Well, you could turn them around?
Right.
Sorry, we changed our mind.
So,
like a base jumper was also a suicide jumper.
On second thought.
Halfway in, he's like, fuck this. No, I like
a lot of these people who survived jumping off the Golden Gate Bridge, they learn, like, I love life.
Yes, most of them.
They're reborn.
Yeah.
So what I would say is, the problem is that I don't, this is not a boast. As you know, I don't usually put my credential first. I'm probably the most blue chip defector from the institutions. Mutineer, call it that. I have essentially perfect credentials. And that's the problem. So it's not a question of you're going to legitimize. I already legitimized myself by Harvard PhD, MIT postdoc, NSF postdoctoral fellow, ONR, top in the country, Sloan Foundation grantee. I've been in math, physics, economics departments. I'm so bulletproof.
So that's the problem.
That's the problem.
That's the problem. It's not that you're a kook.
That's what I was trying to say. You didn't understand.
No, I do understand. I just don't understand why they want to do that to you. That's what's bizarre.
Narrative.
Okay.
I am the greatest danger to the narrative. I'm the most followed mathematician in the United States. Maybe the world, Hannah Fry, maybe above it. That danger to the narrative is the problem.
Well, specifically for people who don't know what we're talking about, what is, to make this a standalone?
It's just from a personal level, and I don't take it personally, but like being banned from so many places and then like having so many weird things, done to me and everything. It's so funny to listen to these fucking losers that are welcomed with open arms in the entire Slopcast world. Like fucking probably gets personal blowjobs from one of Trump's adult children. Like it's probably, has access to all these people, YouTube, whatever the fuck else. And it's like, I'm the most hunted man ever. I'm a danger. Nobody wants to platform me as I go on my 15th Joe Rogan episode. Like, bruh, no one cares about you. No one's going after you. You're just a random fucking kook. Like, that's it.
Alone show, the people that are not aware of your work. What is it about you and your ideas that they are so hesitant?
Like, not to be a super institution cuck, but if you want to shake things up, go publish something. Go rock some journal's world, dude.
To platform. Or legitimize, or why you're such a danger.
Okay, so in 2001, I said mortgage-backed securities were a great danger to the world. I had one of the first published papers on the danger of illiquid.
Oh, he's a fucking finance genius as well. Holy shit, this guy fucking predicted everything.
The pricing of illiquid securities. I went on Chris Williamson's show and he asked me who's going to win, Biden or Trump. I said, you don't even know whether Biden's going to make it to November. I said that the people, representatives of the Democrat Party, reached out to me and said, stop talking about Biden's dementia. You need your affirmation that you're seeing something real. We put in 3 people as a committee to replace the president. And I said, like, I'm supposed to feel good about that?
What?
So I
What they told you?
Yeah.
They put in 3 people?
They put in a committee of 3 people, and if you knew who those people were, you'd be pleased as punch, so shut up.
That's what they said?
Yeah, correct.
You would be really happy, so shut up?
Yeah.
They didn't even tell you who the people were?
I think that they did, and I've conveniently forgot them. One of them might have been the chief of staff.
Wow.
So
it's like,
but I say this, right? And I'm not trying to. I mean, I keep lots of secrets that people ask me to keep that I should keep, things having to do with national security, for example. But these people are incompetent, and they're a danger to us. And right now, the string theory narrative is a complete danger. It's not string theory that's the problem. It's the only game in town. And so, there was a look. People are willing to spend their entire credibility just to make me go away.
Could you briefly just describe what is so there's not a problem with string theory, or is string theory not complete, or is string theory has it reaped actual results?
Mathematics.
Can you break it down for me, bro? Break down string theory for ooga booga, ooga booga, ooga booga.
Mathematically, it's reaped results, and string theorists have occasionally done really great work in a subject called quantum field theory. But quantum field theory isn't about the quantum field theory of the world. Quantum field theory is like calculus. It's something that's very useful, and it grew up in physics. But we've now found out that quantum field theory has to do with pure problems in mathematics that have nothing to do with physics. And what they haven't done is they haven't dealt with the physical world. So if you take physics, why do we care about physics so much more than really almost any other aspect of the sciences other than biology? I had to give a talk at the New York Deep Tech Week, shout out to those guys. And
Why do we care about physics more than any other big field except for, or any of the other sciences except for biology, which is also one of the other largest fucking, what does that even mean? I don't know. I don't care. I'm just kidding. It's whatever. Memes.
I put it on the slide as 3 things. There's boom, vroom, and zoom. Easy to remember. Boom is weapons. Physics will create weapons. You'll dwarf everything else.
What do you rank chemistry? The bottom, okay? Because without chemistry, we wouldn't have Walter White. And I hate Breaking Bad. I don't know. I just want to hear him say, can you explain what a field is, Joe Rogan?
With
What do you mean when we
exception
say
of
that?
biologicals.
He's like a basketball field?
Vroom
Booga booga.
is energy. And the story of energy is basically the story of prosperity and control. If you look at wealth and the amount of fossil fuels burned, it's more or less like a 1-to-1 correlation as to which nations are rich and poor.
Can you? I can't explain anything. No, in quantum anything, because I don't know fuck all. But I will hedge with that. I don't pretend to know everything. Okay. Isn't it that like there's nothing is like a real thing? Fuck. I've read the Reddit thing. Everything is just an excitation of a field, and that's how the things propagate through space-time. There it is, bro. Get excited. I just cummed on you.
Capital. And zoom is everything else. It's propulsion. It's computation. It's communication.
Do you know shit like the double slit experiment? Yes. If you get a Prince Albert, and then when you go pee, it comes out of 2 holes sometimes. If you're not careful, it'll act like a wave and go whoosh.
And those things, if you take them together, more or less define the economy and the world order. Physics is the center of what makes us modern humans. And it became too dangerous in the 1950s. Even the 40s, atomic weapons are extremely bad, but they're not hydrogen bombs. Somehow, in November of 52, everything changed. And we became too dangerous. The community of physicists is the most powerful group of people made into completely ineffectual humans.
And do you think this is by design?
Partially.
And what was the purpose of it? By saying that physicists became too dangerous, and the ideas became too dangerous, is the idea that the weapons would become so immense and powerful that they had to do something to stop and curb that?
Well, we didn't know how to control it, right? So in other words, for example, in 1940, we set up something called the Reference Committee, which I'm sure you're...
Wait, what? Hold on. Quick meme.
Is it,
This is 1 minute and 20 seconds.
how much would you say the personal conduct issue is related to lawsuits and the nukes versus any other conduct that you can think of?
Yeah, I'd say the lawsuits.
Like how much of your hatred is the lawsuits?
The lawsuits are a huge amount of it. The lawsuits are the most significant part, probably.
And I remember this from some of your older content. So you were kind of like I don't want to say like a Kiwi farmer or whatever, but you were like a free speech, sympathetic shit poster on the internet. So part of what you admired about Destiny back in the old days was the fact that he was taking the fight to Keffels.
Yes. Yeah. And that's what
was there anything else that made you a fan of his?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I like debate stuff. I like seeing someone who performs well in debates. I used to watch, like a kill stream a whole bunch. I liked all the internet blood sport stuff. So it was just like that sort of like content I was a big fan of. And then Destiny most closely aligned with my political beliefs, and then especially I was invested in the Keffel stuff. And when he backed off on that, that was really when I was like, okay, this guy kind of blows.
What? This is one of those things. It's like when Chud said that I'm pumping him full of narratives. This is one of those things where if you ask them, like, what do you mean by backed off? Like, I committed to a top secret 2-week after stream research marathon and then did a Jordan Peterson debate fake out where we read through what was a career-ending presentation on Keffels. And then she was vanquished from the internet forever. What do they how do they invent this narrative that I backed off? I don't understand. Am I missing something? Or what am I not? She did come back? Did she? I thought that after my thing dropped, a bunch of people were tweeting, and the big thing that caught wind, that people caught wind of, was like that the GoFundMe money was misappropriated. And then after that, it came out that she probably, or that I think she admitted to using all of it on drugs. Oh, actually, never mind. You guys are fucking retarded. When somebody says she came back, you mean that like she was like on Twitter or showed up on a YouTube video of somebody or something for one thing? No, never mind. Why did I read that chatter? Okay.
Your listeners have never heard of. And the reference committee lived inside of the National Resource Council. Now, why was it important? Because chain reaction physics was so hot. Once the neutron was found, right? So think about neutrons as bullets. They can go right into the middle of an atom because they're not positively charged, so they're not going to be repelled by the nucleus. And they can bust apart atoms that are barely being held together. And that's why you get bullets begetting bullets begetting bullets, and that's what a chain reaction is. The people who are doing that are not positively charged, so they're not going to be repelled by the nucleus. And they can bust apart atoms that are barely being held together. And that's why you get bullets begetting bullets begetting bullets, and that's what a chain reaction is. The people who were doing that in the 30s suddenly found that when they mailed off a paper to a journal, if they weren't part of the secret group in Los Alamos, their paper got held up and sent back for revisions. And there was no money in it. We secretly set up this thing to shunt real research into the National Resource Council. I think this was organized by a guy named Bright, B-R-E-I-T. And that was the beginning of this whole peer review control mechanism.
And this control, do you think, is this ego-based, that the people who are the gatekeepers want to remain in the position of...
We all want to survive, Joe. I mean, this is a real problem. So you and I can hate on the institutions all we want from the safety of the JRE, but what are you going to do when it becomes really, really easy for people to commit?
People are saying I did Conor with her after. She was at one thing for one night. I don't even know if we were ever on a stream together where it was her and Vosh and Emma were all at some PV event. The one thing. Like, if in your mind this is like she came back, I don't know what to say to you. You're fucking retarded. Like, Kevels was kind of on a big upshot on the internet and everything, and she was getting a ton of attention, and it's arguably the reason why I got permabanned from Twitch. That whole like thing between her. If you're saying that her doing one PV event and showing up in a picture or something is like her coming back, you're fucking retarded.
Like mass murder. If you think about all the really bad mass, like the Vegas shooting that never really got sorted out, it's very hard to kill large numbers of people using things like bullets. If you want to really kill a large number of people, you're going to go to biologicals and you're going to go to nuclear. And what happens when that becomes easy? Like maybe it's a lot easier to build these weapons than the way we currently do it.
We're telling you what he's thinking, and I'm telling you what I would say to him. That wasn't directed at you. That was just what I would say to him, you know?
Now we're bottlenecked on things like centrifuges. And by the way, who knows what the next innovation in physics is going to bring? So I always say this thing about if you're not tracking everybody at my level, what are you doing as an intelligence service?
Is this part of your concern about the missing scientist?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so the missing scientist narrative, for people that aren't aware of it, I think...
I don't remember the timeline, but didn't you truce with Keffels and DM with her? I mean, I'm sure we probably, traded some DMs afterwards. But like, usually I drop my thing on somebody. Once I've said my piece with a thing, I'm done. Like, that's always how I've been in my entire life. I don't know. I'm not a fucking loser, and I have things that I want to do with my life. I don't know who has the time to hate somebody literally forever. And also, I think that, and it's mostly you guys too, because everybody's like this. People want retribution for something, people want to like destroy a person's life and have them dead forever. Like, that's never been my approach to any of the people. Bob Seven, Vosh, whatever the fuck, anybody else. Generally, I'm just like, these guys have done a shitty thing. Like, here's what I think about the shitty thing. I think it's kind of fucked and something, they fuck them. But then, like, into 6 months or whatever, I'm like, yeah, whatever. They did the things. Like, they're not doing it anymore. Like, that's it. You move on. You move forward with your life. Like, there's nobody that I've hated that I've created, like, a permanent grudge for that I'm like, wake up, soldiers. We need to go carry out our grudge hatred for this person today because they haven't killed themselves yet. Like, Jesus.
I think they're up to 15 now, and a lot of people say that some of these connections are baseless, and that some of them, it's just...
We're not really
happen.
up to 15.
No. Okay. So what do you think we're actually up to?
I don't know. Probably 5 or 6.
But I saw someone online did a breakdown of it, and essentially they were saying that the odds of this being a coincidence are off the charts. That the people that are all involved in very specific types of technological...
What? People are saying except the DDoS kid. Once I figured out how to not get DDoS anymore, no. What do you mean? I moved on. I didn't think about him. I wasn't trying to get people to like figure out where this guy lived or like I'm gonna get my vengeance on him. No, once I figured out how to stop the shit, I was like, oh, whatever, it's fucking over. Move on. What?
Technological research, different things that are top secret that all of these people either wind up missing.
There's a lot of murder in math and physics, first of all. People don't really appreciate that.
Jesus Christ, this guy's so dramatic.
You know, the Unabomber was a famous PhD mathematician.
Oh my God.
He's a big story, though. There's a lot.
Yeah, sure. There was a guy named Cantor who broke into David Rittenhouse Laboratories in the University of Pennsylvania, where I was an undergraduate, and shot up a seminar. There was, this situation in Iowa where a relative of mine got a seat in the physics department because somebody was killed by one of the graduate students. I think it became a movie like Dark Matter. So there's an incredible amount of murder. The ball peen hammer killing of, was it Carl Deleu by...
In the commentary community, they made a big thing about this for years, and that PV was a shady, evil org. Beckett of Krabs did like 100 essays on it. Chalogic carries it. Augie RFC. Yeah, I think it has to do with like the lib stuff, right? It is like a lot of it, more than I think I gave credit for in the past. I think a lot of it is somewhat politically motivated or like politically adjacently motivated. If it's like a lib thing, people want to fucking destroy it. As evidence of that, look at how many people were crazy anti-progressive victory in the past. Nobody gives a fuck about it now. Right? Could you imagine if progressive victory was still like a thing that I was largely involved in and we were doing these huge things with tons of different politicians, whatever that slop show that Emma and Hassan and everybody was a part of last time, but nobody even gives a fuck about it now. Nobody's looking into it. Nobody cares. Nobody says anything about it because it's like far left shit now. Yeah, I don't know, man. Jesus. They hate you now. Yeah, well, now that they hate me, now it's chill. Now they're good. Somebody told me the last 30 minutes have been about me now. They switch back?
No worries, no worries. So the brainwashing thing as well. So I mean,
yes, brainwashing.
Me and you have literally, I feel like almost every conversation we have had has been like very contentious, aggressive, like pretty much every time. And I don't think there is a single thing that I've argued to you that you now 100% believe. I know you could correct me if I'm wrong, but both of us are quite stubborn. I feel like, so I don't feel like this is really brainwashing.
I said that I was going to challenge you, and then Brianna Wu, for whatever reason, said, "Oh yeah, I'd love to challenge Queeman." And then we let that happen, and that was a moment in internet history. That was very interesting. I think that you described Ethan Klein. I think lefties are crazy. I think the pro-Palestinian side is crazy, and I think I could probably find more evidence for these people. I think that Israel is bad, but it's not as bad as it's being categorized as. And I think generally speaking, you should be nice to Jews. So realistically, I haven't sued anybody into silence, but you should still probably hate me about 20% as much as you hate Ethan Klein based off of that rationale. So yeah, just because we're speaking calmly doesn't mean we agree with each other.
Yeah, sure. I don't think I hate you 20% as much as I hate Ethan Klein, but sure, yeah.
Okay, well, that's fine. That's probably good. Okay, so we kind of got to Keffels, Anonline, and doxing. Are there any other reasons why you can think of why you hate Destiny? And then do you think, sorry, second part of the question. Second part of the question is, these are the top 3 reasons that you gave me for why you hate Destiny. Do you feel like your conduct on the internet for the past 2 years has been proportional to his sins?
So yeah, another reason why I hate Destiny, he took sugar and spice away from us.
Okay.
Do I know? Is that a meme? What does that mean?
So I assume you know what sugar and spice was. I assume you know.
Yes, it's Straighterade and Pixie's podcast.
Oh.
Yeah, and there hasn't been an episode in over a year and a half, Connor, if you can believe it. There has not been a single episode in over a year and a half. I could not be more angry. I could not be more angry.
Okay.
So I do think
I feel like that's partially sarcastic and partially earnest.
Well, yeah, but it's I'm obviously entailing the underlying behavior that caused that to be the case as part of that.
Yes.
So
yes. Oh, okay. So Pixie would be unironically one of the ones that you dislike.
Yeah, I would say Pixie and everything that's wrapped up in that. I wouldn't necessarily put Pixie alone. If let's imagine, because Destiny's already admitted to sharing nudes without consent in the past. He already in the Bob 7 manifesto admits to doing that. So that was already publicly.
How many years ago was this? 6 or 7 years. Also, I like how this is like going into hyper-specific agreements or disagreements that Melina have and that me and my ex have in terms of like who do we send stuff to at what point in time, and this is just like blanketed as non-consensual sharing of news and nobody blah, blah, but. Oh, don't ever do that again. Fuck, hold on. Okay. Thank you.
Known that he has done or would do that. Not really controversial to say.
So how did I heard you mention that previously as well?
I thought I was a Destiny fan. This fucker knows Tiny Orbiter podcast. Well, these are like the talking points. Is this guy a pixie simp? Is that what he's No. These are just, they iron out these talking points every single day, every single week, every single month. They argue with other people. Like everything that Queeman is presenting here to Conor are things that these guys have forged themselves and refined over months or years of snarking me.
With the Bob 7 manifesto. So in reference to that, like...
so like for the Bob 7 stuff, Queeman is going to tell Conor two things. One is that I non-consensually shared nudes of Alina, and then two is that I went after Bob 7 for the same thing that... for the same thing that I do. I think they try to bring this back to me somehow, but basically they try to say that my whole Bob 7 manifesto was because Bob 7 shared a nude of somebody that wasn't supposed to. Maybe even of Melina, I don't know. But if you watch the Bob 7 stuff, my issue is that Bob 7 was the solo feeder into the Austin show, or Raj Royale is what they called it back then. And that he was like fucking the girls after saying he was asexual, or like having sexual relationships online or whatever, like requesting nudes or whatever, even though he said he was asexual, but he was the solo gatekeeper to this program. It was like not a good thing. But the main impetus with that was that Bob 7 was also shit-talking me behind the scenes constantly. And I was like, why the fuck are you telling these people weird, random fucking things about me? Well, fuck it then. Let's, to be fair also, I warned him first. I did say...
the Bill Cosby joke is popping into my head of like, I think the worst part was the hypocrisy. But my question for that is like, I think you pointed out that hold on, I'll
also, Conor is just fully in this now. Well, the issue is Conor, so like Pisco, is like too retarded to see the social dynamic. So Conor thinks he's having like a genuine conversation with Queeman here, where these are like genuine Queeman beliefs, and he doesn't realize that he's seeing like, I bet there's some video game that has like a fucking picture of this. There's like a guy here. Wait, no. There's like a guy here who's like talking to like a guy here, and there's like a curtain here, and he doesn't realize that this guy here is like part of this huge fucking machine. He just thinks he's like talking to some dude. Imagine these are all cogs, and this is a sick fucking, almost looks AI generated with how intricate this awesome fucking drawing is, okay? But he thinks he's just like having this talk right now.
Sweet for Destiny real quick. So for Bob 7, he used his booking job in order to get in the ears of all these women, pit them against each other, talk shit about each other, et cetera, and then send nudes without people's consent or whatever. So how...
I keep saying I would have to go back and check. Although these guys never source anything. I don't know if I might have made that a minor point, or maybe that was a point that came up. But the big point was just that he was like, you had to like fuck him to get on, or it seemed like it, that he was applying like sexual pressure to girls after saying he was asexual, because remember he said that online so much, I'm asexual, in order for them to get through to the Raj Royale, which is just obviously like not good. That's like pretty bad,
How do you view Steven as hypocritical in that regard if that was the criticism that destroyed Bob 7's career?
Well, I mean, Destiny does, like, there's a clip of him actually laying out in no uncertain terms it's unethical to try and get with the women you're booking for. That's basically, I don't understand where the line would be between what Bob 7 did and what he does with his stream. Obviously, I think he said he doesn't really believe that anymore.
Oh, I'm sorry. I remember this lie. Sorry, Jesus. There's so many to keep track of. That I require people to fuck me to come on my stream. It's like... I had... Not anymore, but I had like the most open Discord in the universe. Anybody could jump in to debate, do what the fuck ever, anything they want. It was just like... There's zero evidence of this, zero substantiation of this. There have been plenty of people that have come through my Discord that I haven't banged. It's just like, oh my God. But there's never any evidence given of this. This is like one of the Mr. Girl talking points. Yeah, I think it's even in his Destiny report. There's like, I wonder if Conor will ask for any.
I don't know that I believe it as a hard rule even, but that is absolutely, I would say that there's no way around the hypocrisy there. And I think there's certain considerations that you need to make if you're going to do that sort of thing, and Destiny does not make any of those considerations.
So this is a descriptively true statement, and this is why I'm not going to become a snarker who endlessly...
Descriptively true statement, what?
...obsessively stalks Destiny. Not that you're stalking him physically, I'm just saying like...
I reject even that characterization. I feel like I should be firmer on this, the idea that I'm just totally obsessed with Destiny. I don't cover him that much at this point. There was a long stretches where I'm just not covering him. Only recently, because he's gone so fucking crazy, me and people around me, have I started covering him again. Like basically.
Should I sweep for you by pulling up your video?
Please, I'll always accept sweeping.
Your video compilation, because I will say that part of the accusations against you are reliant...
One of the funniest things, this was completely fanfic, all coming out from Lab mainly, right? Yeah, I don't know if there's like a screenshot floating out there of it at one point, but I think me and Lav hooked up, and then we weren't talking as much afterwards, or just because we fall out of communications. And then I think it was like the Black Issues arc. There was a bunch of stuff going on my stream, and then Lav started jumping in more. And when she started jumping into my stream more to argue with people, she also started to get like a little bit more flirty with me in DMs as well. And then I like, because I'm not retarded, I am aware of like the dynamic. And I think I explicitly messaged her And I was like, hey, like, I know that you're jumping back on stream to debate people, whatever. You know, you don't have to like fucking flirt with me or whatever. Like, that's, you know, that's cool, right? And then I think she replied with like a meme where she was like, oh no, like I'm only doing this to be fucked in your harem or whatever, something. Like she was joking because she knew there was no pressure here. But I remember that when Mr. Girl and Lev had their struggle sessions about me later, they both brought up this message. That was like the most responsible message in the universe, right? They both brought up this message of how I am a master manipulator because I leave messages like that in order to cover my tracks. And I'm like, what the fuck am I even supposed to say to that? I guess. Okay, whatever, I guess.
Upon your obsessive desire to destroy Destiny. But it does look like that part of the accusations against you are reliant upon your obsessive desire to destroy Destiny. But it does look like you, not only does your video diet have a substantial amount of diversity, but it seems like gaming, I'll literally list all the creators that I see, okay? I got Techdown, Noah Samson, Hutch, Nick DiOrio, Ethan Klein in Destiny, me, Destiny, Ethan Klein, Beck.
Why even do this sweep for him? I don't even know what the point is here.
Nick DiOrio, Tectone. So it seems like if we were actually to break down some Gaming for Hope stuff, some Chibi reviews, some Chud Logic, some more Nick DiOrio, if I was just to take your past 6 months to a year, it looks like you hate Nicholas DiOrio substantially more than you hate Destiny, or at least you're giving him substantially more coverage.
Yeah, definitely way more coverage than Nick DiOrio.
Nicholas DiOrio is hated because he's seen as like an attachment to the Ethan Klein industry. I bet if I were to go through all those anti-DiOrio videos, I bet there's a lot of mentions of me in there. I don't have it offhand though, but like that's why they hate Nicholas DiOrio.
I don't know where I'd rank them in terms of how much I hate them, but absolutely, I spend way more time thinking about Nicholas DiOrio, making content about Nicholas DiOrio. That's absolutely.
Did you back off on Destiny because he was threatening to dox you, or was it content, or both?
Why would you even offer up that? Oh my god!
Like what math would you put in there?
I'd say there's always an element where it's like, you don't want to be on super hot, tense, dangerous sometimes situations for a huge amount of time, and if you can sort of take a path of least resistance, it is easy to do that, and that's appealing sometimes. But I wouldn't say it was determinative in any way. I would say it's like, it's just like it's a consideration. The idea that you might get some fucking insane shit happen to you. It's like, it's in the back of your mind when you're thinking about what to cover, but it was never like sort of determinative. I'm not going to cover this because what if this happens? It's always.
Is the claim that you are so secretly manipulative, you don't do anything manipulative, and is above board on everything, so no one suspects something? That sounds stupid, but that's literally. I don't remember which log I was reading. I think I showed this on stream a while ago where somebody was like, now I understand why Destiny's so manipulative, and he always says, if somebody accuses him of something, ask for logs. Destiny says this because he knows that he never leaves anything in his logs that can be incriminating, or something stupid like this. And it's like, bro, what do you want? What the fuck, bro? Okay. 2070 chess.
This might be a weird question, and you can say no comment, but have you been doxxed at this point?
No comment, no, justify it.
Okay. Okay, shit. Well, all right, then I suppose we should get back to Israel real quick. So part of the narrativization that I saw in the video that I'm not going to strawman, so we articulated why Ethan Klein should be disliked. We articulated probably why Israel should be disliked. We articulated why you specifically don't like Destiny. So is your argument that there is a intentional Zionist narrative in the internet, or do you think people are picking up on it subconsciously and therefore it's like aligned interest? What do you think is the balance between that?
Sorry, so you're basically saying is it conspiracy or just like aligning?
Yeah, let's say there was Mossad calling Destiny and calling Ethan Klein and giving them $50,000 a year in order to sweep for Israel in cash. And then let's say there was, Israel's just kind of in the zeitgeist, and most people think that if you hate Jews too much, then you're anti-Semitic. Therefore, I'm going to kind of go with the flow. Between those two perspectives, where do you kind of line up the Israel comments that you were making in your video?
It's so I'm not alleging, or even I don't even believe in or suggest or anything any more coordination than is basically entirely publicly viewable. You can see Dan Saltman published an article with Free Press. That is Dan Saltman working with the massive Zionist machine. That is Barry Weiss's paper. That is him going there to write an article about Al-Sayed and Son. That is very clearly Dan using the Zionist infrastructure in America to push his own interests. That is what is happening there. Just no if ands or buts about it. Same with when Dan goes to, say, the ADL, Richie Torres, tries to put pressure on Twitch to get people banned for the Sabra hummus.
Is Richie Torres a congressman?
Yeah, I believe so, congressman.
Okay.
Yeah.
I saw him tweeting about Hassan a few times, but I didn't see him otherwise. So hold on. So from Dan's perspective, though, let's say that you're Dan real quick, or I'm.
Find items that fit in hand luggage. Well, how big is your hand luggage? A laptop? I guess, right? Pianos, no. Beds, no. Desks, no. Hell yeah. What is the time frame on this? This could be a lot or it could be a little. 713
Destiny
clips found about Destiny. Can these come from the same video?
On Destiny.
Damn. Okay, it only goes back to 2023. Okay, I feel like that's a decent amount of mentions. No, 713. But okay.
Dan. And I say, well, I was raised Jewish. I was raised in the synagogue.
Just click on this Diorio video and type your name in the transcript.
These people that...
Nikki D has started to distance. Show transcript. Destiny. Gee, shoo! Well, hold on. Some of these are down in the comment section as well. Does it say how many times? Jesus Christ. No? Okay. So it's like 45 times in this one video here that's titled Nikki D has started to distance. Okay. Good one, Connor. Good job, buddy. Good research there.
My kids are Jews. They're raised in the synagogue. I buy into the narrative that Israel is the fallback point. God forbid there's like an American Holocaust. And so as a result, while maybe I don't like everything that's happening in the West Bank or, southern Lebanon or Gaza, I still think that we need maybe a little bit of...
Everything Conor is doing makes perfect sense in the lens of someone deliberately running cover. 1, he asks for no corroboration of claims against Destiny. 2, provides outs and answers to questions while asking them. And 3, anything that I explicitly called for didn't happen. Yeah, I think... I don't know, man. Maybe. No, they can't be. I feel like he's just mind-fucked. I think me being a larger creator allows him to be mind-fucked because I'm like the more manipulative one. Queeman is just a small little creator dude. Like, why would he possibly do this? He can't see the machinations all behind Queeman. Maybe? That's my guess. I don't know.
Ethnic cleansing. Like ethnic cleansing as a treat. So I still need to support this Zionist machine because it's in the existential interest of me and my family. Therefore, not only am I a Zionist, but I'm also going to work with other Zionists. How do you feel about that? Like, I'm presuming an internal monologue, but how do you feel about that internal monologue?
I don't like... I'm trying to figure out how to like parse this out, how to like separate these things. I don't have like, it doesn't, sort of like how I don't know that I believe it as a hard rule even, but that is absolutely, I would say that there's no way around the hypocrisy there.
He doesn't even ask about the Bob 7 stuff. What is the hypocrisy? Does he just accept that?
I don't know. I heard you I haven't sued anybody into silence. Logically, inferentially,
Yes. I mean to ask you like how exactly you want me to answer this question, but my immediate feeling is it's like, if you're not calling for and you're moderating against the worst behaviors, I don't know how you can ever be sort of like in the wrong or going too far if you're keeping it to true statements or jokes and satire. To me that's all. I'm a free speech guy. I think you should, as long as you're doing your responsibility to make sure it's not happening around you, you're not participating in it. I don't think you should be stopped from saying basically anything, so long as it's not defamatory or some other issue.
How do you feel about these two comments that I wish I could use the F slur in order to describe my own chatters? A brainwashing happening live is not something you see every day. Number 1, do you think that you're successfully brainwashing me? And then number 2, Magic, somebody says, they dox Destiny's child lol, so why do they get a pass for criticizing Destiny doxing?
Oh my god.
So you as this amalgamation whole, we did the Never Have You Ever earlier, but do you want to explain why you don't think you're responsible for Destiny's doxing or swatting?
Sure. So let's start with the second one, I guess. So, when kid, depressing situation to me, I don't really want to talk about it. So I just don't understand how I could be ascribed responsibility for things happening to.
And then what about brainwashing allegations? Do you think you've said anything that's like untrue?
I want to make sure that I'm fully clear that I've always said I will comment on things where it's like, oh, apparently Drew Pavlo spoke to Nathan. That's fucking weird. Apparently food shops raided into that. Don't know why that's going on. I'll comment on things like that, but there has never been sustained coverage or significant attention brought to Nathan. It's always just things that are already swirling around and fucking everywhere. No one wants to pay significant attention. There was, for instance, there was this guy called Joe Podawful. Have you ever heard that name?
I haven't.
He's sort of like a Joe Red Bar.
Okay.
Do you know who Red Bar is? Have you heard that name before?
I don't. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I am extremely online, but I'm not
explain There's a whole world of like these trolls. Okay, like these trolls. They just go around fucking with people and doing live streams on it. This guy called Jesse Podawful or Jesse PS some shit. Who showed that he had the
Queen, like seriously, welcome to go join the Discord. Click on my profile and DM me evidence of Queenman's duplicity. Evidence of fucking Doobie's duplicity.
So then the other message was something about brainwashing you, right? It was.
Yes.
Do I feel like I'm
actually? Hold on. Can I share one thing before we go into brainwashing?
Of course.
So I have evidence. I have screenshot evidence that there is a Telegram group of Groypers who actively plotted to go to Miami to kill Steven. And
I shouldn't laugh. I'm sorry. The FBI, this is one of the visits to me. I don't think that was serious, but maybe it was. I don't fucking know, bro. But this is one of the times they came and talked to me. I know exactly who he's talking about.
They thought that they were hyping each other up to the point that one of them would do it. I have that evidence. So if there are groypers who are willing to try to hype each other up to go kill Steven in Miami, would they be willing to dox or SWAT him?
I shouldn't downplay it. I'm sorry. I cried when the FBI came. I was crying. It was traumatic for me. I'm sorry. I don't know. Fuck. I'll work on this. My crying. I'm sorry. I fucked up. I fucked that one up. I fucked that encounter up. I just failed that quick time event. Fuck.
Logically, inferentially, the answer is yes.
Yeah,
so right now, I have more evidence of groypers attempting to dox, SWAT, or murder Destiny than I have been presented that Queeman and Doobie are guilty of attempting to dox, SWAT, or murder Destiny. So if you want to give me contrary evidence, my Discord link is open. Sorry for the yap, but I feel like that needs to be articulated.
Yeah, no worries, sorry. So the brainwashing thing as well. So, I mean...
Yes, brainwashing.
Me and you have literally, I feel like almost every conversation we have had has been, like, very contentious, aggressive, like, pretty much every time. And
watch
now,
this.
later on, now that Hutch has freaked out about it and Parry made this video where he's talking... I think that's the intention. I don't think people are trying to make Hutch kill himself. I don't think that's what people are trying to do at all.
I have dogs who have died on me in the past, right? They were older, they got cancer. And so if one of my friends wants to be irreverent and he goes, well, Connor's still brokenhearted over his dead dog, what a fucking pussy. If his job is to like razzle me and hurt my feelings, but do it in a way where he's fucking with me, but he's trying to tell me he loves me.
Yeah.
No problem. That happens every single fucking day. But if his intention is to literally get me depressed, so I fucking, start drinking or kill myself.
So yeah, I heard you say this. Yeah, I don't think that's the intention. I don't think people are trying to make Hutch kill himself. I don't think that's what people are trying to do at all.
Are you for real?
I'm for real. I don't think people are trying to make Hutch kill himself. I don't think that's what's happening whatsoever. I don't understand
you
why
don't
that
think
really
they're showing up and being like, hey man, you killed your dead...
Has the FBI made any progress with tracking these people down? So the issue is that, like... This is so annoying to talk about, okay? Because I'm balancing like a lot of different things here, and I don't like to make a lot of stuff public, but the issue is that the FBI told me that if I actually want to find these people, that if I actually want to do it, I have to message Doobie, and I have to get him and his squad on the mission. That he's the only one that can infiltrate deep enough into these neo-Nazi child porn groups to gather all the required evidence and material and to go as deep cover possible to get these people. And I just haven't crossed that bridge yet,
Bad sister. You don't think that's them, trying to fucking
I
get
don't even know who
relapse?
did that. So the timeline has been like butchered a bit here. Hutch said that someone in that Discord said his sister was a valid target, and then like 5 minutes later, someone came into his chat spamming about his sister. But my understanding is these were actually like that message and someone going into his chat were like 2 weeks apart. It was like 12 days later. And the mood in the Discord, there was a poll taken about whether there should be jokes.
This is one of the issues with how brain broken Conor, but I don't think he sees it. We don't see a lot of how our mind fucks with us. If I were to make this claim, like if I were to say, no, that happened right back to back, the comment here and then somebody going to his chat, Conor would demand evidence from me. But is Conor going to ask him for evidence of this? Also, again, has Queeman said whether or not he was in that Snark server? Because how would Queeman even know if he wasn't? And then if he was, why doesn't he have evidence of this?
2 weeks apart. It was like 12 days later. And the mood in the Discord, there was a poll taken about whether there should be jokes about Hutch's sister, and it was 6-0. No, there shouldn't be jokes about Hutch's sister. So at the time, the mood was, no, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. Now, later on, now that Hutch has freaked out about it, and Parry made this video where he's talking about turning Hutch's sister into a desk, yes, it's become almost funny in retrospect because there has been this freak out over it. And that becomes the joke. That becomes what gives it the humor.
What I'm not going to buy, what I'm not going to buy is that you are harassing. You are harassing.
Like, I like that even Hutch laughs along with that. Again, like, it's different when there's, like, actual vitriol here. Like, there's almost no amount of how funny this can be to overcome it. It's, like, actual vitriol. And it's against a guy who, like, really doesn't... It's Hutch. Bro, it's Hutch. The fuck?
Harassing, I guess. Somebody is harassing Hutch out of love.
Also, they're doing it again as well. The adult child thing. These people are all talking about themselves like they're children, right? Yeah, there was a comment. Yeah, it happened. Whatever. And then, yeah, Perry made a video about it. So, yeah, there's been more, right? They're talking about themselves like they're children. They just do as they do. And it's inconceivable that they could do any other way, right?
I don't think
they're not doing it out of love. But why does it have to be either out of love or trying to make him kill himself? People don't like him. They're ripping on him and trying to make funny jokes about him. Like make him look bad or hurt his feelings because they don't like him. But that is not trying to make him kill himself. Like the idea.
Okay, what are Hutch's sins?
Hutch's sins. What are Hutch's sins? Hutch, I really do dislike Hutch and Win. And I think I have perfectly valid reasons. I think, if you really had your eyes open, you'd see them too. They're both very dishonest and very stupid.
The reason why we snark these people every single day is because they're dishonest and stupid. The only answer here is their proximity to me, by the way, which is sad, but that is the answer. Like,
it's like, and they get given
what is
way too much grace.
Hold on. So hold on.
They get given way too much grace. Like, sometimes Hutch gets things so wrong, I can't believe people haven't fucking made fun of his sister more to him. I can't believe people, like, what? That doesn't even make sense. I like how Conor is just, like, sitting here slurping this up from the ground without even, like, a question of how insane that comment was. I can't believe they give Hutch so much grace. Don't people know that he's got a dead sister we can make fun of? This is, like...
Very stupid. It's like, and they get given
what is
way too much grace.
Hold on. So hold on. Doobie says, and I don't agree with him on this at all, that Hutch was lying about Ogre Boy jumping into the Discord to check if people were harassing his dead sister. That's what he said. That Hutch was knowingly lying. But what I got from the same piece of content, which I probably watched twice, because I actually really liked Hutch being vulnerable and sharing stuff about his sister. What I got from that was he was saying that Ogre Boy made it sound like he jumped into the Discord on a tear and was like, you guys...
I feel like he's humoring too much, in my opinion, but I'm hearing pushback. Connor's about to give this pushback, and then Queen was going to go, oh, no, that's not true. And then Connor's going to be like, oh, okay. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll see.
We're not be fucking doing this, right? But if you look at what was actually sent in the Discord...
Yeah, no, I wouldn't point to that. I wouldn't point to that as an example at all.
So what else has Hutch lied about?
So there's a very clear example. I don't, I'm reticent to use this one because I don't want to make it the anti-Destiny circle joke everyone expects it to be.
Okay, wait. Queenman just dropped that. Wait. So did Queenman just tell a lie? Did I misunderstand that? Did Queenman just lie? And then Conor pushed back against that lie, and then was like, okay. And then he goes to the next thing? What? Okay.
So there's a very clear example. I don't, I'm reticent to use this one because I don't want to make it the anti-Destiny circle joke everyone expects it to be. But there's the very obvious one is Hutch initially takes a very strong moral stance about what Destiny did.
There it is. They haven't disavowed me hard enough. This is what I mean when I say, and it's annoying, I understand, because you guys are like, oh, why do you talk about this? But they fixate so much on this to try to destroy every single person around me if they haven't come out and called me a rapist, basically.
Stuff.
But I'm glad we got... So the first thing was a fucking lie, but then the whole lot... Now the second thing, right? Okay. It's because he hasn't denounced Destiny hard enough. Me and Hutch didn't do content together for what? Over a year? Was it over a year?
That's what happens with
But like that wasn't enough? For what?
Right. Later on, he makes a statement saying he's seen new details in the case that make it all a lot more grey, then denies he said that, and basically says all he said was a statement about how, I was an addict, I understand people can change and do bad things when they're in a state of addiction, all this sort of stuff. But that wasn't all he said. He made a specific statement that things had changed in the case, which I don't understand what could have changed in the case that would change your moral analysis based on the things that he had said previously. And he refuses to explain that, and he denied that it happened. So that
refuses to explain that? What? Why the fuck would he owe you an explanation? What?
That's like a clear point where I feel like he just lied. He just lied, and it was just because he didn't want to get heat for the association. And I don't care about the association in and of itself, but you got to be real about it. Don't take the strong moral line and refuse to explain why it's changed.
Oh my god,
that's bullshit. That's snake behavior.
Okay, so the reason why I'm sympathetic to Hutch, and I wouldn't accuse him of a lie of commission unless I actually had the specific things, was because you were, and Laugh, and Mr. Girl, and a shitload of other people were
strong
huge... What's that?
Wanted strong denunciations. Is that what you're going to say?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a polite way to put it. So,
yeah, for sure.
In 24 to 4... Yeah, within 72 hours of the January 20th, 2020...
So why didn't they dislike Conor as much as Hutch, since he still considers Destiny's friend? I've said this in the past. It feels weird now, but like, Conor has his disagreements with me, but he'll voice his disagreements with me, but he's still okay to be like cool with me. He was in the past. He was very hard to pressure. Like there wasn't really much in Conor's community. These people would try to show up and do things, but like there wasn't really much they could do. I think because Conor just made his shit clear. Like if somebody were to show up in like Pisco's chat or like Hutch's chat or whatever, I'm not using these guys as like bad examples. So they're just like, oh, didn't you know Destiny do all these horrible things? Like they might not want to address it. They might want to talk about it directly because they feel like it's bad for the stream. They might just whatever. It's like hard to deal with stuff like that. Conor will just read a thing like that and be like, oh yeah, I think Destiny's discussing all this, but I don't care. I'm still his friend or whatever. So like that was why it was harder. The only reason why the Conor shit has melted down is because I just don't want to associate with anybody that's entertaining even that much of like these people like running around in these circles. But like technically Conor's space was fairly impervious to this type of stuff just because he would be like pretty clear on his stance about me. 29. Okay, I might watch this chat thing in a bit. We'll see. I don't know.
So
yeah, for sure.
In 24 to 4. Yeah, within 72 hours of the January 20th, 2025 drama, there was a huge wave of anger in order for creators to distance themselves from Steven. And I think I told you to go fuck yourself. That was fun.
I mean, it didn't even have to.
rate
Sorry,
you.
again, I have to push back, but I don't say people have to disassociate. Things I say are that if you have standards for association that you've laid out, you should stick to them or actually articulate why they've changed, other than you just not sticking to them out of self-interest.
Like so like I'm not saying that anybody has to disassociate from him. I'm just saying that like if you don't like rapists, then you need to explain why you're still next to Stephen Destiny on it. Like,
okay, that's the first thing.
Okay, hold on. Let me ask you a question. What is worse? What is worse? Sharing homemade pornography without consent and allegedly audio recording sexual encounters that were consensual, but without the consent of the other parties, or being a lolicon pedophile?
The first one. Wait.
The first one is worse.
A pedophile that only looks at lolicon but is a pedophile. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, sure. What do you call it?
Like a
what was that
virtuous
word? There was like a noble
pedophile.
pedophile.
Yeah, virtuous pedophile. That's what I call it. Yeah.
A virtuous pedophile. Yeah. Which one's?
I wonder where they would rank if they ever asked, like, even outside of the sex trafficking stuff. If you were to rank what Solo did, where would you rank that? As better or worse? I wonder if they would. I don't. Nobody talks about Solo. Nobody even cares. Whatever.
Where the virtuous?
I would say.
Queeman definitely won because Solo was an active member of Queeman's community and was even in his community for a bit after the leaks. By the way, Queeman didn't even ban him for. I think it was at least a week, but whatever.
The one who actually
Who's
does
worse?
the person who actually does the
Virtuous
harmful
pedophile
acts.
or
The person
Steven
who actually does the harmful acts. It would be the first one. It would be the first one to me.
Okay, that's fine.
So yeah, Food Chops is not as bad as Destiny in my worldview.
Really?
Yeah, Food Chops is not as bad as Destiny.
Okay.
Also, Food Chops has less agency. She's like legit disabled. It's like, you know.
Oh wait, sorry. That might be really funny. Can you say that again? What you said? She does have agency or doesn't have?
Doesn't have a lot of agency. No.
Okay. So you just think she's like a leaf blowing in the wind?
Yeah,
she just
basically.
goes where her.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay. So one of the things is like once again, I don't hate Steven. Not gonna go out of my way to fuck with him.
Holy shit. Uh-oh. Fed subpoena Hassan Piker and Medea Benjamin over Cuba trips. Uh-oh.
Not going to be joining the Snarkers in their crusade. But, you know, obviously something that there was tension over was the association with food shops. That was a huge tension. So I'm not pulling punches anymore. That bitch says something about me. I'm going pedophile.
I saw you on Twitter earlier. I saw you going back and forth. Yeah.
Every time she mentions me, pedophile. That's what I'm going to say. I don't have to fucking... I'm not going to pull punches just because you're Steven's strongest soldier. Like, that is not a thing.
Yeah, no, that was awesome. I liked seeing that. That was pretty cool. Yeah, so I was saying I really dislike Hutch and Wick. So that was one example of Hutch being incredibly dishonest. Another point where I felt like Hutch has been quite dishonest and quite...
Hold on, real quick. People are criticizing you because they're saying that you give zero fucks about Lolicon. Obviously, I have like a different opinion. But then Steven, the very conversation that I'm referencing, where I said, hey, I think you associating with food shops is a mistake and it's bad. Here's why. And then he was like, well, I think it's just drawings. And I was like, fucking kill me. So anyways, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So another reason why I felt Hutch quite dishonest and Steven. I don't know if you saw his arguments with Pisco over the Ethan Klein stuff, or his argument with Straight Raid.
You didn't feel, sorry, I'm jumping ahead a little bit. You didn't feel like Pisco, like I understand Pisco was being pretty, or Hutch was being pretty abrasive towards Pisco in one conversation that I saw.
No,
that
the
I didn't feel was fully
abrasiveness
fair.
was not
But you
the
don't
issue.
think Pisco's abrasive in fucking general?
Neither, I'm not talking about abrasiveness whatsoever. Pisco is abrasive. Nothing to do with being abrasive. Hutch is, he's like so condescending. It's not abrasive. It is like pulling faces at everything.
This is the propaganda talking points about Hutch, that Hutch is condescending to Pisco. Pisco's being a good guy. He's trying to like save the bridge. This is like the same shit that Justico, Rao Kittenhouse, all of these guys say this continuously. This is like the workshop talking point.
Said instead of giving an argument. And it's so
If anytime something sounds retarded or impossible to you, you just have to remember the funnel. You just have to remember the funnel. It all gets fed into the top. That's the only thing all these people see. The mid people all like react to it and agree with it. And then when it's funneled out to the bottom, like this is like the creation of this reality. So if it seems like, how the fuck can you believe this? It's because this is how their content consumption is working. So he's just delivering this as as real as anything else.
Fucking weak. It's genuinely worst like stream debate demeanors that I've ever had the displeasure of watching.
Is that because Pisco wouldn't let Hutch crucify Taylor Lorenz sufficiently?
That Live and Learn episode was pretty bad too. That was pretty bad.
Okay.
But no, it's specifically the ones about the Ethan Klein stuff. It was like they had a super long debate about, I think, the Ethan Klein lawsuits, and Hutch basically never, he like almost never argues. He does basically just like beg the question repeatedly. Like he does constantly the CPS.
What is their ultimate end game with all of this? What is their end game if you were to disappear and stop streaming? Oh, then they would stop caring. The end game is always silence of whoever their adversaries are, right? So like if I were to stop streaming or stop doing political stuff altogether, whatever, or if yeah, that would be it basically, yeah.
And Skulls thing. He's constantly like they sent CPS and Skulls to his house. They sent CPS and Skulls to his house. And there's just no way that I don't believe anyone who's doing that sort of argumentation has been in the space for this long and doesn't realize how that's like totally non-responsive. And they're basically just doing a tactic there. They're like trying to get out of arguing the point.
do you have any regrets? I know you probably don't run the Discord yourself. Do you have any regrets of the optics of having skulls with CPS on it for the Discord banner?
No.
Okay.
I think that's
did anybody, to your knowledge, in the Discord?
This is another thing I get for fuck. I'm sorry so much. Because I see through the matrix now. Okay, I want you guys to see the matrix. That's why I get annoyed when people are like Destiny, the optics for the Trump people, for the firefighters, for the girls or whatever. Right? None of the optics matter. It just matters the reality that you can fabricate for people and then sell to people after you fabricated it. That's it, right? Like, this is an obvious. Should you really have a skull or whatever with CPS written on it after Ethan Klein's having CPS? Like, this is such an obvious, like, what the fuck? Hutch had this moment, actually, when he was talking about people talking about his sister, where he's like, if you don't talk to any normal person about this, they would say, what the fuck, bro? That would be it, right? But Conor is now like getting captured by this mindfuck thing. It doesn't really matter what you do. Like Queeman, remember, it's the children. They can justify literally any behavior whatsoever. It doesn't matter. There is nothing that's like rhetorically ineffective or anything that's too far or anything that's like, well, that wasn't a good joke to say then. It doesn't matter. They're part of the team, so they'll get covered by the blanket, and then they will be part of the funnel, and everything will be A-okay, 100%. Yeah, the Snark server's icon is a skull with CPS in the center of it. Yes.
For the Discord banner.
No.
Okay.
I think that's
did anybody, to your knowledge, in the Discord participate in the have you ever, the doxing, squatting, skulls, CPS calls? Is anybody in the Discord that you know of engaged in that activity or admitted to engaging in that activity in the past?
Not to my knowledge. So it could have. I've got. Okay. I don't know. Everyone's. I'm sorry. I know. Like, to my knowledge.
Skulls, CPS calls. Is anybody in the Discord that you know of engaged in that activity or admitted to engaging in that activity in the past?
Not to my knowledge. So it could have. I've got. Okay. I don't know. Everyone's. I'm sorry. I know. Like Shamu has doxed in the past. It's something Destiny dug up the other day. Shamu doxed people like 3 or 4 years ago when he was part of these sector troll groups, like Ethan Ralph sort of area, troll groups that were fighting on Discord, doxing each other. There's like stuff like, I'm sure there are people like that who have done stuff in the past. A lot of people have doxed in the past. But to my knowledge, this isn't a behavior that's being exhibited by this group or people in it. And when it is exhibited, the moment you can show this person did this, they're dealt with, and it's dealt with.
Is there any platform?
Thanks, Yabiash.
Excuse me. Is there any off-platform enforcement of doxing, or is it solely on the server, to your knowledge?
So, I have recently enforced against some off-platform conduct. The one that was brought up from the server, and there was a separate one that happened on Twitter by a user in the server. And I took action in my community because of those off-platform behaviors, which I don't really like doing, because it does feel like you start making a rod for your own back. That the moment you get into moderating off-platform, you're taking on this insurmountable task where you're expected to keep going. And it's like, the moment you don't do it for someone, it's like, why aren't you doing it for that person? You want them to get doxed, and then they almost try and put responsibility on it now. And it's like, it feels like you're just like, you get, that's the goal almost, just get you wrapped up into this endless game of trying to ban a bunch of users.
Have you ever said that you're at the top of your information funnel, but other large creators are at the bottom? I mean, some of them are at varying points, but like Queeman would be near the top of theirs. I was near the top of mine, but I just have like my corner of the internet, basically. Like when I was on Twitch, it was a lot different. This is one of the things I said when I liked being on Twitch, was that whatever I talked about would like set the media diet for everybody, because if I talked about it, people would react to it, and then I could kind of like set the tone for what we're all going to be debating for the next week or two, because I would give a take, and then everybody on Twitch would react to it. But now in YouTube land, it's a much, much, much bigger ocean. So you're not as directly influential.
The argument though from the anti-snarkers or the GGGers though is that like, even though this was a not private Discord or private Discord of 100 people, that they would be, if they were previous doxers or people who had engaged in personal identifying operations in the past, they would effectively know not to make that public. Ergo, you might shit talk somebody in the general, but then because DMs are obviously closed, and if all these people have incentives because they're all doing equally bad shit, the only way to find the kind of evidence that I'm looking for is if somebody turncoats and then screenshots and leaks DMs. That's like and I'm sympathetic to that argumentation. I just think that if you're going to dox somebody, you should probably.
Do you ever get a break from this BS? After the court case, I will maybe. But no, this has been the last 2 years of my life, basically.
Have something. So what do you say to the fact that like,
Conor's doing all of this while they nitpick his divorce and make fun of him? They did that before because Conor was seen as being in my camp. This is why I said in my Reddit post that this is going to be like this is a victory for them, is flipping Conor. They won't make fun of his divorce or any of that. They'll leave most of that alone. They might make like a lighthearted joke to kind of show that they're still like ribbing him, but with the same viciousness that they did before, nah, definitely not.
Because I almost guarantee you this is going to be Dan and Destiny's argument, is that most of you, 95% of you, are smart enough not to dox in VC or in the text channels. But if you wanted to engage in P-ops or gay ops, you would just coordinate the shit talking in the server, but then you would just jump into a group call for the gay ops or P-ops.
It's just like a totally unfalsifiable claim that you can say about literally any community online. You literally can't go anywhere online without running into someone who has done some form of doxing or something someone would consider to be doxing in the past. It's like, especially in these communities, it's like almost, it is literally impossible to vet for no one who has ever done anything like this or that could be argued to be like this. So all it is it just comes off like a totally unfalsifiable claim. It's like it is just a blank check. It's just a blank check. It's
so if I asked Doobie a similar question. So let's say that because I try to earnestly engage with people, and I often feel like people earnestly engage with me because of my earnestness, but that doesn't mean that people are incapable of lying. So let's say that the manifesto comes out or some Discord DMs come out, and there's something here in the Never Have I Ever questionnaire, which I know is a grill, but you just like bald-faced lie to me.
Such a grill, bro. Such a grill.
Do you have any problems with me disassociating and saying, hey,
no,
I tried to be earnest with Queeman, and he was not earnest with me, therefore fuck him?
No, of course not. If I straight up lied to you about what I was engaged in, of course I expect you to dissociate with me. That would make total sense.
Okay. The only reason why I want that articulated is because it's like, if the manifesto drops, because this is what DGG is saying right now, they're saying, trust Destiny, trust Destiny, trust the plan, trust the plan, trust the plan. He's working on the manifesto. He's working on the manifesto. But what they're acting like is that they're going to get the smoking gun of you or JStock or Doobie engaged in malicious, antisocial behavior that is worthy of disassociation. And it's also going to prove that you're snarkers or whatever. Not just snarkers, but like malicious digital harassers.
Yeah.
So
this is from Queeman's channel. I wonder if he's ever used this TDD phrase before. I'm trying to look it up, but I can't see the context here. Does this mean the video is...
Team Total Destiny Death.
Oh.
There needs to be a harsher narrative against Destiny, right?
I like how they were just openly saying this on the internet.
Owns and arguably lazy.
Oh.
Willie and Queeman go at it, I think, and then Kelly interjecting. But here's the thing, right? I heard two major talking points that I really agreed with, right? The first talking point that I majorly agreed with was that Willie's video did not establish a pattern. It was a very bare bones and arguably lazy video. That might be harsh to say, but I mean, I don't know. I just thought
that all the streamer people are gay.
I thought the video. Well, no. Let me elaborate on my point. I thought the video could have come out like.
I think it's gay. Why do you think it's gay?
A day or like a few days after the initial Pixie allegation, and it would have had value then. But now at this point, like, you know, there needs to be. I do agree that there needs to be. I'm Team Total Destiny Death. There needs to be a harsher narrative against Destiny, right? And then my second problem with the video was Willie sort of praised himself for reaching out to Destiny. He was like, I'm the only guy that reached out to Destiny. But then when he got that statement, he didn't really do anything with it. He didn't analyze it. He didn't really
hand it off. That's
yeah. But I thought that was just such a waste of effort. It could have been. He could have like. I'm not saying he had to make a whole segment on Kelly Jean.
Never forget, the Oreo had comments to say about the content of the Destiny report when it dropped about Paluti from Ryan Beard's retelling of the report. Yeah, I mean, look, even detaching it from the Destiny report thing, because like plenty of people just watched Chud's coverage and barely paid attention and said it was retarded. That's like not a Nick thing exclusively. What I find especially annoying though is that Ryan Beard video. I could have made that Ryan Beard video.
Like they were so much more open a year ago when they all thought I would get convicted of fucking rape or whatever, of like all kind of working together on this stuff. Right, is this Augie RFC talking about a video that Willie Mack made with Nicholas Diorio about how he's encouraging him to cover certain things, and they're watching like the content nuke from Ryan Beard about Destiny, and then like the different dramas that they should have picked up, and like these guys are obviously part of like Total Destiny Death, like it's like super open.
Without research, I could have literally, if you just told me go write a Destiny hit piece, and I locked myself in a room for 2 days, and I sat there with a notebook and I wrote out a Destiny hit piece, I would write out Ryan Beard's video pretty much. I would pretty much just write out Ryan Beard's video. And I had already seen all of that stuff, and I already made points about pretty much all of that stuff. And so I knew all that stuff. Mr. Girl, he obviously knew all that stuff. Naked Ape knew all that stuff, because Naked Ape made that same video 10 years ago.
How long has Total Destiny Death been a phrase? I think it was around a little bit after my leaks came out. So like maybe January of 2025, maybe would have been around when it first showed up, or December 2024, maybe?
Like 7 years ago. Why didn't Nick know all that stuff? Why didn't Nick know all that stuff? The thing is, Nick kind of did.
Yeah, Jessica was saying it back in January of 2025. Thinking of taking up programming streams. Anyone else just a massive fan of TDD? Apologies to all those I may have hoodwinked into thinking that was actually about coding. Huh. What was the date on that? January 21st, 2025. Was that one day after Pixie's Substack dropped? I think it was. There's a lot of people on the internet that were workshopping these narratives, bro. It's a lot of stuff. I wonder what this is. Hold on. I haven't listened to these, so it might not be him saying it or approving it, or maybe it's out of context.
Good. Does it? So, guys, we are blaming Chud for this. And remember what actually happened.
What's going on here? Hold on.
Be secret.
Tommy C is getting this factually incorrect. On 11/30/24, before the your stream, Turkey Time did 2 things. 1, talk about the Destiny leaks on stream. 2, distance himself from DDG and Destiny. The New Year's stream had no effect between. They're trying to like keep their alliances together while like getting as many of them to try to destroy my career as possible. Like the level of coordination, bro, it was a lot of shit.
Right.
Chud knew that the Sunday video was coming out. Whether he knew what he was doing with it, who knows if we'll ever find out.
What does victory ultimate mean for you going against this? I mean, sometimes all you can do is survive, brother.
He 100%. So why would he put him on defense like that? If he knew about this, then he's putting him on defense after he's trying to move away. That doesn't make him look very good, does it?
So, guys, we are blaming Chud for this. And remember,
I like how he's literally giving orders to like the snarkers, like this is the narrative. Like you're watching the funnel in real time because it was a little bit smaller. People didn't have eyes on it as much, or rather, it was more socially acceptable because of the hate wave against Rudy so much. Was Solo involved with Jizzer when this campaign against you began? That's still a thing that I'm still like digging up information on, but like that Solo guy was an active member of Queeman's community, like a fairly active member. He typed a lot on his Twitch chat. He was active in his Discord. Even after the leaks, he was still active in his Discord for a bit. They didn't ban him. Like I don't know what the actual connection is there. I think my mind might actually like explode into a million pieces if it ever came out that like it was actually like a whole operation. That would be crazy. Like from the start, there's no way. But I don't know. But that would just. But I mean, it wouldn't even be the craziest thing at this point. So who the fuck knows?
remember what actually happened here. Augie is the first one to say that it's obvious that it's non-consensual, okay? The moment when Chud reaffirms it, Augie is screaming total Destiny death. And then when Chud reaffirms it, Tom's response is, okay, let's debate about this. Debate me on this then, Chud. That's Tom's immediate response. How the fuck is this Chud snaking anyone? How the fuck? So, right, guys. Nick brings up Destiny. Augie says it's obvious that they're non-consensual. And Tom asks to debate it. But it's Chud's fault. Please make this make sense. Make this make sense.
In fact, it makes him look like shit. If he knew what Chud Logic was doing, or excuse me, if he knew what Sunday was doing, and he...
Solo Catfish was a snarker psyop? I don't think so. That would be crazy. But he was active. He was an active member in Queeman's community.
Knew about this video. He looks, he's the biggest snake as I'm saying he is.
Yeah, also Tommy's original argument was that because he was still associated with Destiny and that's why it was snaking.
Like, New Year's streams had no effect. I thought, like, what the fuck? What are you talking about? So I said I would address this on stream, and she accused me of goalpost shifting.
Queeman is defending Chud in that clip. Chud was beefing with Tommy C at the time when he was still in their good graces. Yeah, because Chud was pulled over into these guys' camp. This is why I said before that I think Chud was having some extended fight with a lot of other content creators because Chud had been pulled so deeply into like this snarker camp, and a lot of the other commentary people like don't really like the snarker camp because it's like a lot to deal with. That's why like Turkey Tom and a lot of other people kind of distance themselves. It's just like because this is like so toxic. Obviously, nobody wants to be involved in mass reporting, spamming, doxing, harassing, swatting. It's just like way too toxic.
When I didn't even make the argument. But I will tell you something new. Hold on a second. I wrote this down somewhere. This will shed some light on that.
Also, guys, we're doing content for a good while yet. But
is this Solo from 2019? Dry Beam in chat. I think that might have been his name in my chat. Yeah.
Later on tonight, we are going to be on Kick, and we are going to do some gaming. Now, guys, I'm struggling. I have to say, I'm struggling. I just finished Expedition 33 yesterday. Well, we might talk about that at some point as well. I just did the ending. I just went and did the ending because I was like, I want to get this game done. I might go back and do some of the optional stuff later, but I want to just get this game finished. So I finished Expedition 33, picked the Verso ending, obviously, because it's the obvious right choice. If you picked my one, you're a fucking retard like you, like, don't understand the story. But I did finish.
Like, this was that Solo dude was in, just lots of random screenshots of shit like this. October 15th, 2024. And you can see him like typing in his Twitch chat. Solo yet. He's got the same little profile picture. What is that? Riz voice. Infinite suck glitch. He's just like an active member. And then he was also active in the Discord too. Queeman, and then, by the way, all of them know this. But this is another reason why they never talk about this guy, is because the connections to Queeman are so strong. They tried to make it out that like, oh, he was a DGGer. And it's like, I'm sure at some point he was. How else the fuck would he know to catfish me, right? He must have been a fan at some point. But he was an active fan of Queeman's right up to the leaks. But I think there's another reason why they never really talk about the Solo guys, because it makes Queeman look pretty bad. The elusive trans-Palestinians. Good one. Conor would be like, he was just listening to a guy saying he was part of team or Total Destiny Death and talking about all the things going on and agreeing with it, but he didn't say Total Destiny Death or whatever, so he's not actually.
But what I'm expecting, and I'll be happy to eat crow on this, I would prefer it if I ate crow on this. What's going to happen is because the Discord is so large, there's going to be similar things like Wix PII floating around or whatever the fuck was happening with that, or there's going to be references to Hutch's dead sister.
You should post those logs of Solo because Queeman denied this. He just denied Solo was in his community to Conor in this very call. Oh, he just lied. And Conor's too much of a fucking retard to ask for proof of anything, so.
Or something like that, but we're
or
not.
Ask what the counter proof is, but yeah. No, he was definitely in that community. They wiped all the logs from Queenman's server though as well. You can ask him. They not archived, not moved to another channel. They wiped those fucking logs. And that was the reason why, 1,000,000,000%.
Not going to get the smoking gun that says Queeman, J-Stock, or Doobie are the swatting, doxing, attempting to murder Nathan people. So, yeah, that's what I'm worried about, is effectively it's going to be inconclusive.
Yeah, I just don't know how... So what would you need for it to be conclusive in the other direction?
Did all this evidence fall into your lap? It's been a long time of just collecting random stuff and then recontextualizing stuff. And then the thing is that like in the past, I would have tons of people to bring stuff to me, but I would say from like January to like January through like 2025, I really didn't have much of anything because basically everybody thought I was like a mass rapist, murderer, or whatever. And then like a few people reached out and then started helping a lot. And then as time has gone on and people have seen how crazy and convoluted and kind of like bullshit a lot of these things are, more people have kind of like come back and like, hey, like here's a whole bunch of shit. This is like kind of fucked. This is a funny message because this was in Queenman's Discord server. December 2nd, by the way, after this guy had already leaked all my shit. But it's funny because even Solo knew that Justical and Cherry were dating 6 months before it would have eventually gotten leaked online. Oh, and who's that? Ryle Kittenhouse. This Ryle dude is so active behind the scenes. He used to be Justical's old video editor. He might still be his current video editor. Nobody really knows about him, but he's another guy who's like mega active in all these fucking spaces.
That you guys are not the Snarkers?
Yes, that we're not doing anything that's, you know, that we're keeping it all above.
Weirdly enough, I thought Snark was going to hate me for stating this. And sorry, real quick, this one's important. Ex-Beloved Cat says, ask if anyone has mass reported. We already know that J-Stock did, but J-Stock did in he's claiming self-defense because Destiny based on...
Remember, all treated as children, right? Well, he had to. It was self-defense. He had to, using exactly my rationale, right? But he's justified for it because he's a child. Destiny shouldn't because he's an adult. It's the same thing.
That chronology had already called for his docs at that point. So is there any other mass reporting besides the J-Stock mass report that you know of?
So yeah, one user... It's not if it's quite mass reporting. What I'm aware of is one user, and this is why I took action on my community. One user tagged Team YouTube under a tweet of Lonerbox telling Hassan to kill himself. And like it's not quite mass reporting. It's not if it's quite mass reporting. What I'm aware of is one user, and this is why I took action on my community. One user tagged Team YouTube under a tweet of Lonerbox telling Hassan to kill himself. And like it's not quite mass reporting. I don't know if I would usually take action in all cases for something like that. However, because I have a relationship with Lonerbox, I just literally I don't want even, you know, the risk or appearance of risk that someone's going to go after his channel for being too close. It's just like it creates fucking problems. I can't obviously hunt down everyone that's ever made an erroneous report or an erroneous at Team YouTube in my community. But when it comes up with people that I might be associating with, that, you know, it's just fucking annoying. It's just like a problem.
Yeah. Last Liberal, I don't know if you were in here earlier, but I have evidence that there was I'm not even looking for evidence. I just found evidence. Somebody gave it to me. That there was a Telegram group chat of Groypers who wanted to kill Destiny and were trying to hype up one of their members in order. Yeah. Last Liberal, I don't know if you were in here earlier, but I have evidence that there was I'm not even looking for evidence. I just found evidence. Somebody gave it to me. That there was a Telegram group chat.
Oh, I wonder if this is a different one. Maybe this is a different one than the FBI visited me about, because he made it sound like this is recent, because this other thing was like months ago, but I don't know.
Of Groypers who wanted to kill Destiny and were trying to hype up one of their members in order to finally doing it. And so my question is, logically, if this group of Groypers were ready, willing, and able to try to hype each other up for somebody to go kill Destiny in Miami, then why wouldn't they do swatting and doxing? And I have evidence of this. I have screenshots of this. So I have, at this point, at this juncture, once again, I am praying to be totally wrong. I am praying that we have a four-way conversation between Chud Logic, fucking Queeman, J-Stock, and Doobie. And they're like, Connor's such a fucking idiot. I can't believe he's falling for this. We are currently mass raping Destiny online, and he's such an idiot.
This is basically every side server is saying more or less this. I think I posted all the Justical things yesterday for how proud Justical was at Conor being a good boy and falling in line.
Can't believe that he's buying our bullshit. Maybe we'll find that.
And all of the good boy points right now that Conor is getting, because good boy points have to be completely equal in the universe, the exact opposite is probably going towards, I think, Chud, because I think Chud was forced to denounce the Shamu and Nicandros, whatever fucking dudes. So now they're all fucking like dogpiling on Chud Logic, which is stupid.
If we don't find that, then what? Because I have more evidence of those people that are likely to swat Destiny than Destiny, Dan, Lonerbox, Hutch, or Wick have presented. So I have evidence. You show me yours.
All right, sorry. So yeah, we were saying what would you need to be conclusive in the we're innocent direction, or at least I'm innocent. I always speak right now, so I don't want to stick my neck out.
I think it's like it's a time thing. 2, I think Destiny would basically have to gay op infiltrate the Snarker Discord. So he would have to hire some Indians, part-time, full-time, give them $10,000 a year to infiltrate your guys' fucking Snarker servers, and then, be active participants who are beloved in the community, and then see if you guys offer them any OSINT tools or doxing tools or whatever. It would basically be like a long-term undercover mission.
Sure.
And if the undercover mission didn't yield any fruit after like a year, then I'd be like, okay, they're clean.
So there's nothing really reasonable that can be done to show, at least that this is highly improbable.
Well, and see, this is part of the reason why I was beefing with Destiny on Friday, was because the assertion is your absolute guilt. J-Stock's guilty. Queeman's guilty. Doobie's guilty. They deserve to be digitally ostracized and ignored. That's what they deserve. And they deserve to be doxxed. And yet, when I say, okay, well, what have they done? The answer is they cumulatively contributed to a permission structure in which people could dox and swat Destiny by talking shit about him on the internet. And by that virtue, I am guilty of the same thing for Hassan Piker. So Hassan Piker, based off of that rationale, Hassan Piker should be able to dox me. Which he did, by the way. But then based off of that, I should be trying to dox Hassan. But I'm not going to, because he can dox me, but I think the internet should be the internet. So my job is to talk shit about him on the internet. That's where I'm at right now.
I agree. That's what I agree with. That's what I'm pushing.
Remember when all of us were like, okay, guys, it's time for total Hassan death? Remember when that was our tagline for shit that we did and we tweet that out? Jesus.
Hard right now. That's what I feel like. Why I feel like it's worth attacking Ethan Klein and Destiny separately. I feel like they are probably some of the biggest purveyors that I know of the falling standards, of the degradation of the ability for us to do this.
This is actually like one of the first.
No comment. No, absolutely no fucking comment on that. How have I survived as a creator? I don't know, man. It'll be the same thing in a year after this. What people forget, I guess. I feel like I've been through. I hope this is the last one. I've been through so many of these fucking dramas. People just made the most unbelievable accusations about me. And then every single time they've come up short. Like every single fucking time. It's just been this exact same thing over and over and over again. But
smart chat that I've seen all night. So one of the accusations is that there's Kiwi Farms cross-pollination. And for me, I kind of sarcastically use your guys' excuses of...
You're just built different. No, I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about how do they accept it? I don't understand how Conor accepts it. Oh yeah, I guess DGG must be like the crazy... Queeman just said basically that the current state of the internet and the area here where everybody's swatting and doxing and doing all this crazy shit to each other, the main purveyors of that are me and Ethan Klein. Even regardless of how I feel about Ethan, right? Did I miss this? Was Ethan out there doxing and swatting and everything before the Snarker people? Was that a thing? I've never heard of this in my life. It's just such a crazy, wild thing to say, and then for Conor just hang out there with nothing, no evidence, nothing. But
oh well, it's just a drama forum, and they prohibit harassment. So realistically, that's the best that it's going to get, regardless of whether or not Kiwi Farms should or shouldn't exist. It does feel pretty weak to have the documented sins of an online personality in one convenient place for them to read, and then also to have their name, address, telephone number, current employer, and family members, and then to say we are not encouraging.
Yeah, I don't know that it should be illegal to have the dox information there in the way that Kiwi Farms does. I don't know that I agree that there are some. I have a lot of sympathy for the idea of anti-doxing laws. I think I agree with making some forms of doxing illegal, especially when coupled with otherwise criminal harassment, like California does. My issue, my defense of Kiwi Farms is that you should make that illegal, not try and get the website taken off or shut down or whatever. As long as if they're operating within the law, they should be allowed to operate. That you shouldn't go and fuck with them.
Then follow-up question. This might put you in a bind. So if no comment is the answer, that's fine. But in the past or going forward, if there was, as a matter of fact, this might actually just be a good testing of principle. So to your knowledge, if somebody was found to have not done it in the server, but posted personal identifying information to Kiwi Farms, and we knew who that person was, they used similar handles or some shit like that, would that person have been doxxed would that person have been doxxed from JStock server, or would it have been viewed as off-platform behavior and therefore not your concern?
Jesus
if
Christ.
there's someone, so you're saying if there's someone within these communities that has a Kiwi Farms or post doxing on Kiwi Farms, would they be allowed to say?
Yeah, wasn't there I don't know if you'd be able to remember this just off of this description. Wasn't there a pretty famous Kiwi farmer that Destiny's mentioned by name that was in JStock's old server, not this one, or he was in Spicy Chat? He was in Spicy Chat and he was banned, but he posted some PII or dox info, but he was using similar handles between Discord and...
Yeah, so there were a few years ago, I think there was, if it was just one guy, if there were two guys, there have been people that have kicked around like that. I think my general stance now is, I don't know if I would set a hard rule, I don't like having people like that kicking around. I would, if there's someone that I know of that is in any way an active doctor, I'm generally just going to remove them from my community. Period.
All right. Well, and then sorry, here's a question. Do you run that server or no?
No, I don't run the server. I don't run the server. But obviously, you know, I'm not going to want those people around me. So I'm generally going to advocate against them being anywhere. You know.
Okay.
Obviously, I'm a content creator, and I'm sure my words have like some level of weight. I don't know how much weight it would have, but you know, that's
okay. I'm trying to think of that guy's name, but I can't think of it for the life.
I mean, I think it's best if you don't mention a lot of these guys by name. But that's another thing.
Okay.
Yeah, there's something at Destiny sites as well. Is that people say like Blav1 in my chat. This is okay after the Destiny always.
That was it.
Oh no,
there he is. We know his name now. Blav.
Yeah, yeah.
There you go.
I think there was I don't know if that's exactly the one.
You're like, it's best that we don't say his name, but that's why people say Blav1.
Well, this is the only one I bring up because Destiny has brought him up on stream so many times. It's like he goes off Destiny, and Destiny keeps bringing up. You can't. Yeah, it's always difficult to not have the name kicking around when he's given so much fucking attention. It's like, so it becomes difficult at a certain point.
Okay. Well, that's what I got. What else do you have?
What else do I have? Do I have anything else? Oh, I've got, you know, I'm not vouching for him, but Purple Parry did ask me to ask you to unblock him, and he's sorry for being gay in DMs. But I don't vouch for him in any way. I don't co-sign him, so.
No. So that Purple Parry guy is like one of the most unhinged people on. I like the fact that he's comfortable enough to even ask us, and Conor just says yes. Is actually so unreal to me. I don't even have shit linked from him. I didn't even know for a while. I thought that guy was just like a internet troll dude. I didn't even know he was connected to these communities because his shit is like so outwardly crazy fucking unhinged online. I'm like, what?
What happened was he was like, because I remember this. He was like, let's talk about this. And I was like, I don't want to. Or I was just like, no, I'm busy right now. And he's like, you're gay. And I was like, okay, well, bye. You know, that's. It's not that I'm unwilling to talk to schizoids. I'm actually quite willing to talk to schizoids. But if you're trying to get my fucking time, at least be polite about it at first. Holy shit.
Yeah, he's not very polite. I'll agree with that for sure.
Yeah. Jim says he gave me a super chat and he really wants me to talk to you about this. Queen has stated multiple times that Godzilla -1 is better than any Clint Eastwood movie. Jim says he human shouldn't be dog.
Yeah, I know I've seen all Clint Eastwood movies. Don't even appreciate movies that do actually have conservative values when they come out. They just totally ignore them. We talk about and so I rate Godzilla -1 as one of those.
Based. Okay. Somebody said the comment section here was roasting Eric Weinstein a lot. Eric speaks as if he's waiting for us to catch up. Meanwhile, we're all waiting for him to get there. Based. This dude has mastered the art of saying something is an unnecessary, mysterious way. Or this guy's mastered the art of saying something in an unnecessarily mysterious way and then pausing for the interviewer to prod him to continue. Okay. The fall of Eric Weinstein. Damn. Oh, they are roasting him in here. I don't like beefing with individuals. Immediately starts a beef with an individual. Pause this and immediately listen to Freebird. The Steven Seagal of physics. UFO talk starts at 1 hour, 18 minutes, and 20. Oh, what's this real quick?
Well,
and by the way, the UFO thing that's now blowing up,
mm-hmm.
There's going to be some crazy science collision with the UFO narrative. There's no way of stopping it at this point.
Wait, the Perry recording, if you want more drama, LOL, 2:30-ish. What is this even about?
Hang on, that would still be accurately described as brigading. If there was 1,000 people, if I start my first stream ever, right, and there's 1,000 people who like really hate me, and they will post in their private Discord that is not publicly accessible, and they will go, oh, we're gonna go all fucking talk shit about this guy in his chat. Let's go. Let's talk about his dead sister or something. Like I would still call that brigading, even though I can't see that it's brigading, right?
I mean, nothing like that's happened though.
I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm saying that because there's a level of privacy that's.
Oh, this is where Purple Perry. I don't even know what his voice sounds like. I don't know who's saying right now. Okay, I don't want to get on all this, but apparently that's where he does the dead sister jokes about Hutch. The Joe Rogan sub too. The Joe Rogan sub, I believe, I think this is an anti-fan sub. So I think how much I think every post on the Joe Rogan sub is like it's like the Dave Rubin sub, I think, right? Where I think they just shit on him here. I think so. That's always going to be the case.
This point.
So you've turned a corner on this. Let's talk about that because I saw you on Jesse Michael's show, and you were talking about how just a few years ago you thought that the entire narrative was complete nonsense.
Probably 5-6 years ago by now.
And what changed?
Well, all the other anti-establishment bros decided this was the truth, so now I'm here pushing the same shit.
There was no way to explain. So Jesse was going on and on about it. I said, Jesse, you're a smart guy, and you know I often call him the back alley scholar. So he knew a lot of stuff that was sort of forbidden knowledge, and he wouldn't be quiet about it. So I said, okay, I'm going to disabuse you of the idea that you're actually into something. And I realized very quickly, at a minimum, there is a massive denied program, like usually called a special access program, one or more. There's no way to synchronize that number of people who've had experiences that are so similar. And there's a lot of stuff that I couldn't make sense of. And what attracted me in a certain sense was I couldn't come up with any explanation. It's so rare. I usually have exactly the opposite problem, which is I come up with too many explanations. I can't come up with a single explanation that makes sense of what I now know. And also the fact that the government outreach to me and to Sam Harris and to Lex Friedman. And, you know, there was this thing where these guys who checked out said there's going to be a massive disclosure and we need people to disseminate these things to the public, and you have a share of the public who listens to you. And we need to get you informed so that you can help mediate the disclosure.
So what prompted this change in narrative?
What's going on behind the government?
Yeah.
We don't know. We don't know. Look, we don't know what the thing or things are yet. Some of it is, so low quality that it's embarrassing to be seen with it. So my colleagues who don't want to take this seriously use that, like, okay, so you're now on the little green men train. And I said, no, I'm on the special access program train. There's for sure special access program or programs that have UFO on the side of them that may or may not have aliens or craft or non-human intelligence in them. It may be that it's decoys. It may be, I don't know what it is. There's no way to deny that there's like a giant lump under the carpet.
And what prompted you to change your opinion and decide that there is some sort of special access program?
When I started coming in contact with totally sober people from reasonable walks of life who would say the craziest things to me, and a lot of them checked and they didn't yet know each other.
Like what kind of crazy things?
Let me take somebody who's public. Brandon Fugel, for example, was at a dinner where he started talking about being visited by a craft a few feet over his head that came over the mesa, and his head of security was catatonic, standing in the back of a pickup truck, unable to move. And
Just goes now reacting to the entire Conor conversation from your perspective. He's such a loser. Yeah, it's got to be the funnel. Okay, I can't listen. Okay, we have one more big meme for the night. A huge reveal. That won't matter, actually. That's just a meme, but apparently there's a weird music theme 40 minutes in. Wait, what? The Freebird thing?
So
These concerts sell out?
A video. See if you
live.
Then listen down and hold
Okay, here we go.
Live in Tokyo.
1984, live in Tokyo.
Tokyo Dream.
Fuck, can somebody link me a Fox News digital thing with Hassan Sapina, maybe? Can somebody link me this in chat? Never mind. Hold on. His dog. What the fuck? Wait, fuck. Somebody had some potential Kino here. Hold on.
Breeze has worked with some of the big...
Shut up. Somebody was asking if what this woman is wearing. Is this a shot collar? I don't even know what the fuck this is, though. Would it be? Wait. That's a remote? Link me a picture. Link me a picture. Link me a picture of it. Look at the first image at the collar. I don't think you can see anything down here. That's the remote. Oh, shit. Wait, what is the red one? Does the red one mean something different? Oh, no. I thought Hassan said Kai was the most spoiled girl ever. Going to the park every day. The red one is fire damage. The PG-300 remote dog training collar. How do you know what it does? On a real note, though, do we support the subpoena or not? Literally no lib is going to have the balls to stand with me on this one, and I actually don't give a fuck anymore. You should always celebrate red shirts and brown shirts fighting. For once in their fucking lives, the red shirts and the brown shirts fighting each other is a fucking vacation day for once for the fucking libs. And any lib that goes out and defends us on this is cucked to the max. They all will. I'm sorry. I know they will. They probably already have. But red shirts and brown shirts fighting is always a victory for liberals. K from YouTube. Thank you for the 10 gifted subs, buddy. 10 gifted tier 2 subs. The shock one has a bunch of color options available. Is this a shock collar? I don't know. If it says it's an impulse collar, does impulse mean shock? Thank the gifter from earlier. Did I miss a gifter? Oh, K from YouTube. 5 tier 3 subs. Thank you. Stimulation equals shock. Here it says vibration. Offers sound and vibration functions. I bet he augmented it to have electricity in it. We need to get an analysis. We need a breakdown analysis. We need a breakdown analysis of that particular model. Here's a red remote 1 that shocks. Oh, wait, why do they all look the same? Wait, Educator ET300. Educator, oh, PG300. Oh. Mini Educator. Wait, can we read what it says on this? Is it possible? We need the AI. We need the AI breakdown. Fuck. We need to contact the photographer. We need to ask them for the originals. Yeah, is there a bundle that comes with like the red lanyard? That's what we really need to find. Just zoom in, no? Well, we're not on a TV show, so. Okay. I need to go so I can be back at 1:30 p.m. or 1 p.m. sharp tomorrow EST.
Queenman swept this. Queenman probably swept this, didn't he? Like he always does with fucking J-Stalk. What is this, mate? This is fucking dreadful. This is diabolical, dude.
Diabolical?
What is this supposed to be? Some AI slop. Dude, oh my god. Oh my god, bro. This is an abomination, yes. That's total abomination. We need to get Queeman to look at this with fucking sticks in his eyes like that and comment on it, because this is dreadful. Fuck me, dude. What, like, why? J-Stalk is just like a fucking moron. I've got nothing personal against the guy, okay? I've got no issue with him personally. And in fact, you know, credit to him for managing to build a successful, you know, streaming thing. But why the fuck is he doing that? Why is he doing all that shit? That fucking bird. It's that fucking bird again. Chop his fucking beak off. Dude. Chop his beak off now.
Okay, I don't even know enough context to know what he's criticizing here, but okay. All right. Make sure to study quantum physics tonight, guys, so you're going to be all caught up on it so we can have our big QM conversations tomorrow. Okay, we're going into the QFT and how it makes your dick way bigger. I love you. Have fun. Be careful. I'll see you tomorrow. Stay safe, my lovely children.